Hi,
There you go.
my
Nice.
friends. Welcome to the stream, everyone.
There goes a tweet for you.
My name is Brazil.
Oh, a notification.
Hi.
And I'm Bootsburg, coming to you live from Canada.
Canada.
Fuck Canada.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty harsh. Why fuck Canada? What's wrong with Canada?
Because they don't have Donald Trump.
That's true.
Oh,
no.
I thought it's because you wanted to have sex with Canada.
Oh. Okay, that's very different. That's not the same thing at all. But yeah. I want a
Twitch.
refund. God damn it.
TV.
I just realized I've already been offensive, and it's like 4 seconds in.
It was your
Oh.
first.
Wait, what did you say? What was
I
offensive?
said fuck Canada.
Oh, is that offensive then?
I was gonna try my best not to be offensive today, and I've
No.
already been offensive.
If you say fuck Canada to a Canadian, they'll just say sorry for, even
I
bringing it up,
guess.
right?
I'm sorry for.
Yeah, existing.
Well, I've got to say, a fucking PNG with a border around it looks absolutely terrible. I'm just looking at your stream.
Well,
Like, there's
I
no
like-
background.
I know it doesn't look good. Oh.
I don't know why.
You should put a background on there.
What
Yeah,
should I
should
put
like-
on?
You should just like green screen someone's room.
Yeah, or
What?
space.
Space? Just white?
No, like space, like
Oh.
Stars.
yeah.
Okay, let me try and
Like
find
some sort of
something.
nebula.
Okay, I'll find a nebula. Hang on.
All right.
Hang on. Okay, let's see. Will the... Okay, the Wikipedia image will do. Actually, no, fuck that one. This one's way better. Right.
Wikipedia is great.
Anyway, while that happens, who would win in a rap battle? You or Boots?
Me or Boots?
Yeah,
Probably.
I got a lot of street cred, so
that is
Yeah,
true.
Boots' intelligence is superior to mine, so they probably win.
But-
Would his lyrics
Brazil,
be
you
stronger?
have a talent for coming up with shit to say off the top of your head,
Yeah,
and that's usually offensive. So
That is true.
I might.
perfect for rap.
I guess that's true.
That is
Yeah.
true. Would it be enough though? I don't know. Well,
Brazil's
okay.
life philosophy. I don't fucking care. Fuck all. Yeah.
who would win?
Yeah, that's-
Not the audience.
That's
It's a
pretty
shame you
much-
misspelled audience.
Oh! It's destroyed. Okay, there we got a nebula. We just.
That is enormous. But I
Yep,
guess
I'm
it's
gonna.
the
It's
size.
not gonna be as big as that. Don't worry.
Okay, good.
Okay, this is already going well. For good production value already. There he is.
Yeah.
That's more like it.
I like it.
Magical Mike in a nebula. Not here
That's
yet, but
magical, I guess.
could be. You never know. Could happen.
Yeah.
It's
So,
gorgeous.
you know what
Deep,
we're
deep.
talking about today? We're deep. We're not talking about that. What we are talking about is looking back into the mists of the past to examine HoT as a whole, which was prompted by a video that Mike made, which I thought was very good, actually. He made a lot of good points, but he's not here right now to discuss them with us. But it's okay, because we've all seen the video, so we can
We'll
discuss
see
them.
the video.
Well, we can.
Oh.
I mean,
Okay.
it would
Oh,
be.
did you take clips of it or something, and then?
No. I mean no, but I can move and stuff. But I think
Well, I mean, that could
we
take
have
up a
seen
good
it. I mean,
hour of our tea time if you just play the video.
we'll just sit back and say, "Oh yeah, excellent." Just do a live commentary of his video. It'll be like he's in the room. But he's not.
He's not in the room.
He said he'd come. He said he might come. He said he gave me a 50-50.
A
Okay.
50? He gave you a 50-50, really?
Whatever.
Yeah.
Okay,
Pretty
well
much.
then let's talk about it anyway, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay,
HoT.
do you have like a point structure of what we want to talk about?
Not really. Just go through it.
Tea time, everybody.
Yeah.
Tea time.
Well, I mean, we can just go through it in the order of the things in the video. That's what I thought we would do.
Okay, let's
I
do
mean,
that.
I was kind of assuming he was going to be here, though. So
To tell us what was in the video.
yeah, well,
Yeah, exactly.
it's story. It's the story first. The story memes.
Oh
and how much
my
of it there
God.
wasn't.
So we should just warn everyone ahead of time.
There will be story spoilers.
I might be
about
positive.
Star Wars.
I might be positive like 5% of the stream but I'm probably going to have quite a few negative things to say.
What? Why do you have to warn everybody? That's what
Because
everybody expects.
anytime I say anything, there's always going to be mean comments on Mighty Teapot's channel about Brazil said this was bad and it made me upset, or Brazil said he doesn't care and that makes me upset, or whatever. I mean, it doesn't really bother me. It's just it triggers people for some
Yeah.
reason.
It is
So-
true. They don't like that you don't care. You should care more, Brazil. Then
Yeah.
everyone would love you. Yeah.
Who's this guy who has that voice?
What guy?
The guy. Brazil says.
This is this is people on the
The
internet.
people. Oh, look, there you go. Boom. Ulfson already in there.
Yeah.
Twitch chat is what it is.
Yeah, it's Twitch chat. That's what the average Twitch chat user sounds like.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But anyway, HOT story, 4 chapters. Ellie giggle.
Yeah. So, okay. So, I'm going to start it all off by saying a long time ago, when they announced an expansion, I wondered whether or not it would be a full expansion, blah, blah, blah. It is a full expansion. However, story-wise, it is exactly what I expected would happen, which is it's about the amount of time they took to make the expansion and the break we had is about the amount of time of like maybe one season of Living Story. So that's what we would have gotten had they not took a break to make an expansion instead. So story-wise, we're getting what we would have gotten had they not made an expansion in any way, shape, or form. Which is a little bit disappointing because now the rest of the Living Story is behind a paywall of having Heart of Thorns. And so that's my little annoyance about Heart of Thorns.
Was it even as much as a season of Living Story though?
Yeah, about.
There were 4 chapters. How many chapters do you get in a Living Story? I actually don't know. It's a good number though.
Yeah, I think it's like, but the chapters are much smaller in.
That is
in,
true. Yeah, they don't take long.
Well, yeah, and they're also not like run around the open world and show your glider to frogs. Or follow this trail of stones that vaguely looks like an arrow set by a character
I remember
who's
that.
supposed to be in your guild, but you haven't seen them for like weeks.
This is something we need to talk about. Actually, this is a big point. What happened to Rox and Casimir the whole time?
Yeah.
Where did they go?
Their voice actors didn't show up or something, I guess. Like,
I don't understand.
I don't know.
They just left and didn't come back.
Well, I mean that's a problem inherent in the fact that they set it up so that there are so many characters. There are a lot of characters in this game, and all of them are supposed to be as important as one another. Like they're the group, right? But at the same time, we have another group that was just as important as them. The Destiny's Edge now, Destiny's Edge 2.0. We have like 6, 8, 10 characters that they have to write for. And there's no way they're going to be able to write interesting stuff for each of them. So it's a shame that for an entire expansion, like if it was just a Living Story and they hadn't put it into an expansion, if it was just a Living Story, that would be okay. Because then Bram would have his character arc. Taimi would have her character arc. You don't have to write a character arc for every single character. But if it's an expansion worth of story, you'd think that you'd have to put something for everybody. It's just saying that the expansion doesn't have a very large story. And
Yeah. I think
Honestly,
I completely
it's-
agree with you.
I think I prefer Doctor Who's story to the expansion, and
Whoa,
that's a pretty
whoa,
low blow.
whoa,
That is
whoa.
pretty low.
That is harsh, man. That's
Yeah,
pretty savage, actually.
I still prefer the original personal story to the expansion and to the Living World. Other than Flame and Frost, because I really liked that for some reason. I liked how it was like super spread out and it had a dungeon in it. That was my favorite fucking Living Story. The dungeon was incredible, and they took it out of the game, and then they put part of it back into the fractal. But like there was so much more than what they put in the fractal. Like you can go back through it in the fractal. Like I did that a while ago, and I was just like exploring, looking through it. And I was like, oh my gosh, I remember this part. Oh, I remember when this happened here, and it was fun. But then they tried that again, and they put Aether Path into Twilight Arbor, and that was a huge fuck up. Uh, but like I don't know, like they've done good stuff with the story like in the past, and I don't like Timey at all. Like Braum has about the same emotion as like a stone. Uh, like I still don't understand rocks. Like I know at some point, like in the past, she like found frostbite somewhere. Like I think that was during Flame and Frost or whatever. But like,
That's her storyline. Oh no, also
yeah.
she's trying to make Ritlock like her or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why. He's
And
kinda
I think she's
useless.
attracted to Bram, maybe.
But yeah, that's kind of the direction
Kind
they're
of
going with it.
a little bit,
Yeah.
which is
What?
Well, he turns into animals, right?
Yeah, he can turn into a snow leopard, right? That would be good enough.
I guess.
Yeah, just use that racial ability and good to go.
Time for some slash fiction.
Yeah, okay, right. Now we're delving into Tumblr here, I think.
Just a little bit.
Mm.
But I mean, like the story, the expansion. Honestly, I want to say like half of it was like walk to this zone and like do mindless, useless stuff on the way. Like show your glider to a frog or like follow these stones, like I already mentioned. Just like dumb stuff like that. Or like follow the Exalted and look for markings to get to the Golden City. And it's like, okay, that's nice. There was very little like actual story to it, and then like some of the stuff that was there, it was like suddenly Aristogalkin is gonna die, and it's
Oh,
just
yeah.
like okay.
Mm.
And the response to that was like, oh, nice, she's dead. Let's go on. And Magical Mike brought up like the Ritlock stuff where he's constantly asked about that. Like one of the only things Rox ever says
Yeah,
is
is-
like, "What's this
oh.
new magic?"
Ooh.
And he's like, "Later, cub.
Yeah.
Right now we've got to focus on the personal story that doesn't even exist."
Is it possible that they didn't actually come up with an explanation for revenants yet? And they're like, we'll talk about it later when we actually
Yeah.
figure it out.
They're either like waiting to explain it later on, or they just don't have an explanation for it at all. So I don't know.
I think I tend towards the they don't have an explanation, because I asked Isaiah Cartwright this at Resd. This was a long time ago, but I asked him this. Well, it's actually about 1.5 years ago, I guess. And they kind of and he didn't really answer me at all. And he kind of just dodged, and I was trying to say, well, how do you explain the fact that now there are all these revenants running around, level 1, in the exact same place? Because I don't know if you know how it works in World of Warcraft. If you make a Death Knight, they have their own little spiel at the start, their own kind of starting zone. And I was actually expecting something like that. So, you maybe they have these kind of weird disappearances where some people fall into the mist and then they come out as revenants or something. But nope. The same shit happens. You just go and beat the Earth Elemental as a human. It's just, yep, this makes sense now. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never really understood that. And this links into something that massively triggers me. Okay, trigger warning, guys.
Oh.
Where is the reason for elite specializations coming about? It says, oh yeah, okay, so I killed a veteran Mordrum. That's 10 hero points. Now I can start becoming a druid. Is this what?
I have.
What is this shit? You know?
I have a huge problem with that, and I have a huge problem with how the masteries progress. Boots, are you still muted? No.
I don't think so.
No, you're not. Okay,
Okay.
good. And again, this was something that Mike brought up, but this is something I've always had a problem with. It's like training a mastery which just does something, like learning about the Exalted, or like gliding, or like learning how to jump on mushrooms, none of it is related to any of those things. You just get experience from any source, and suddenly you know how to do something. Like I thought it like whenever they were talking about that stuff, I thought it was gonna be like interact with specific NPCs or like try to jump on mushrooms or like build a glider slowly. I thought it was gonna like actually have to do with the stuff that you did, and instead it's either farm spiders or go to dragon stand for 8 hours.
However, I totally get that. But however, what would you rather do gameplay wise? Would you like to run up to mushrooms 400 times in order to learn how to jump on mushrooms? Or would you like to play anything else, whatever you want to do, and then learn to jump on mushrooms?
I would have preferred it not be extremely gated and just
Yeah,
something that
yeah,
you can just like do.
yeah.
Like
I mean, but that's just the design of masteries, right? That's another discussion we should have a little bit later, probably.
yes, actually, yeah, I have a lot to say on that
Yeah.
from people that I've talked to about that very thing.
Yeah, but for story wise, I mean what Teapot was talking about is very true. That it's something that I originally a long time ago thought was very interesting about Guild Wars 2 as a whole, is that there's a lot of lore in the game, but it's hard to find, and you have to go into the game, you have to explore. It's not handed to you. You have to find the lore for yourself, but over time I've noticed, and especially in HOT, it's not that it's hard to find anymore. It's there in hard to find parts, but it would be much better if it's given to you in a meaningful way. Um, like for learning to become a druid, you shouldn't just gain experience and learn to
Yeah,
become a druid. There should be meaningful lore behind it. There should be someone saying, I don't know, even if it was just like a in your journal entry, something saying, even if it was just you got some experience and now you can become a druid, but then there's a journal entry saying what a druid is.
yeah, sure.
That's infinitely better than what we have, but still we don't have that.
Mm-hmm.
There are probably even better ways of giving lore for druidness, or
Hmm.
any of the elite specs, or any of the stuff that we're learning in these masteries.
Well, I
But
mean, there were druids in the original Guild Wars 1 that were in the Moguma jungle, and they were
yeah,
involved in the bonus. Do you remember which mission it was? Was it the
uh,
Wilds? I think it was the Wilds.
I
it
have
was in
no idea.
Maguma. Yeah, in the Maguma area. In the I
Yeah, it
think it
was
was the
one of those
Wilds.
missions, and you had to save them, or you did. The bonus was you had to do something without any of them dying, or something. I can't remember.
Yeah,
But anyway, they were involved. So they already have druids in their kind of story, and they kind of said, "Ooh, you find this one druid, the last druid left, and he passes on his craft." There are druids in Guild Wars 2 in Auric Basin. There we go. So it's in the game. It's in the game, and they didn't use that. I don't know. There was one event where you
yeah.
summon a druid. Oh, I don't actually. I haven't seen that one
I
yet.
mean,
Yeah,
Meltandriel just came up with a great idea. Uh, in order to increase the personal story maybe a little bit more,
Mm,
have just like in the original personal story,
yes.
you had 10 levels, 20 levels with your character learning himself. Why not have the elite spec learning themselves inside their personal
sure.
story? And that would help you with Revenant's explanations also. But I don't know. It's also I just counted it up while you guys were talking. The original personal story for the game, the original game's $50, $60, $60,
I think it was 60.
$60, and the personal story was 50 steps. It looks like
Yeah,
this
it
one is
wasn't
six.
short.
This one's 16, and it's nearly the same price. I mean, so story wise, I don't think you're getting what you're paying for.
No.
Content wise, that's another discussion. It's a lot better. But anyway, um, I don't know. Anyway, and the air thing that you were talking about before, I think the main problem with the air death, and the main problem with a lot of the like monumental things that might have been happening in the story, even though they're not that monumental, with what was happening with Zoja and Logan, making it more
Yeah.
heartfelt or whatever. If only the sound design in the game as a whole is fantastic, but I think it's fantastic. But the sound design for these story points was very bad. Like it was almost I didn't have sound in many of the things. I didn't have any music. There should be a swell of music in certain things. There should be like even in the cutscenes there weren't anything.
Yeah, cutscenes don't. They're kind of weird though. The cutscenes in Guild Wars 2, they don't normally have a lot of sound going on for me, at least.
Yeah.
There's sound in mine, but it is like super fucking quiet.
Oh,
It's like I mean maybe it's because I keep all of my in-game sound really low, but I can still hear that fine. I just can't hear like any music in the cutscenes. It's like it's enough to know that there's something happening. Like I just can't hear it, and maybe that's just something I've done. I don't know, whatever. But yeah.
so do you think that the actual only problem, well, the problem from which all these problems grow, like a Mordramoth tendril, there we go, boom, is the fact that it was just way too short, and because they decided they wanted to kill Mordramoth in the initial expansion. Mordramoth, rather, not Mordramoth. Although killing Mordramoth, yeah,
I think
right.
not killing him in the expansion would have made everyone infinitely more mad.
Yes, I think it's good that they killed Mordramoth in the first expansion. I think it's good, but I think it would be better if the story was longer to be able to do it, and it wasn't just like Mike's. Where's Mike? Mike's video expressed was a Deus Ex Machina right before the end.
The ending.
So
the Ratanovas thing as well. He was talking about and how we just figured it out on the spot anyway. It's fine. Yeah. That was Dan's game actually, but I think it would have been way better if they used the living story to kill Mordramoth. I think it would have been so much better. Even if people were angry, it would have been way better.
No,
because that means they have time to develop all these characters. You don't think?
I don't think so because
I think your perspective is correct. It just would have pissed everyone off.
Why do you? But like, what could they have done to finish a expansion storyline that would have been that would have given the players like a good feeling about finishing? Like, what could they have done?
Put more stuff in.
No. I'm talking about instead of killing. If it wasn't killing Mordramoth, if it was something else,
they could have
the ending of the personal story.
They could have ended on finding its weakness.
Exactly.
Like spent like 4 whole chapters about that. Like you go into Ratanovas, you fucking like figure out how to use all of the computers instead of just Timies and Asura, and she automatically knows it. And then you could have like, I don't know, slowly figured out that his mind is the weakness instead of Timey turns on a computer that has pictures of destroyers, and then you go to Traherne and suddenly Mordramoth's weakness is his mind. We must enter the dream.
Yeah.
All right.
And then you can finish it on with, a massive cutscene of all the packed forces assembling.
Yeah, exactly.
And also, this is also interlocking in this. Is there actually, because Mike talked about this as well, seeing as we're basically stealing his content here, we might as I'm going to be honest, we're going to be transparent here. All the characters that sit on the islands in Dragon's Stand, is there actually anything to do with those, or am I correct in thinking that they just come out of nowhere?
There is.
There is something.
He mentioned the Sylvari person too.
Oh.
And if you look at Dragon Stand, the map is designed for 4 lanes and 4 blighting towers, not 3. And the missing lane is supposed to do with that Nightmare Court NPC becoming like the new leader of the Nightmare Court. And instead, that's just all gone. And there's just the Sylvari at the end of it that's like Duchess something. So that was just completely cut out. I don't really know why, but like
maybe it wasn't finished.
The Chalk Gerent has 4 lanes, but all of the other NPCs, they're like NPCs you help in the lanes in Dragon Stand. I'm pretty sure they are.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think that's her name.
Wow. That is my master plan. I would have extended it out and had a kind of a, not exactly a cliffhanger, but somewhere where it can finish, but also the perfect bridge into the living story where you have a giant battle against Mordramoth to defeat him. in his mind, within his mind, and then they could have spent more time on making that fight way more epic as well, instead of fighting this
like,
tiny little troll.
So giant battle. So you're saying like all of the pact forces go into Mortimer's mind?
Yes, yes.
Kind of
Why
like a
not?
Matrix, like lots
I
of
mean,
pods.
as opposed to what we have now, which is kind of.
Like you
Maybe
you kill the mouth, and then Ritlock uses like his mist magic to like
Oh.
fucking channel the dead Morgemoth
Oh,
and
shit.
go into him.
You know what'd be cool?
What would be cool?
I don't know, because for the last thing, when you go into his mind, it was tough for me to imagine what was actually happening, like how you went into his mind, what exactly was taking place there. Is it that your body was left behind in a comatose state, and somehow your mind entered his mind, or what?
I don't
'Cause-
really know what. It doesn't really make sense. Oh wow,
It doesn't make
Oh
any
my
sense
God.
at all. It would have been nice to have like what's happening on the outside first, or something. What are you cringing about?
No, no, no! Stop! Stop! I'm sorry, Jules. They were spoiling Star Wars.
No. I
Yes.
didn't see it yet.
I got rid of it. It's fine. Anyway, continue, please. I'm so sorry.
I saw it twice already. What was I talking about?
Exactly. Look,
His
Rag
mind
Zero
and,
and
like, how
Modulmoth
it
have ruined
works.
everything. Yeah, how it worked.
How it worked.
Oh yeah, like what happened there. And anyway, so that's just another little thing that got on my nerves a little bit. There are a lot of little things that got like overall the story for me wasn't terrible. It was very short, but there were just so many little things that got on my nerves. The music was one of them. The weird things that your character says to people, like they're talking about, like in the first mission, I think it is, or the second mission, you have a decision whether or not to trust Larenthyr, right?
Yeah.
So if you pick not to trust Larenthyr, the reason given is like a very shoddy kind of like, it's way more important to get a turret built than it is to save like 20 lives. Okay, fine, whatever. Maybe you just really don't trust Larenthyr. Then right after that, Larenthyr says, "Hey, can you let me and all my other Sylvari buddies have sniper rifles and be people who go around wherever they want, uncontrolled by the commander. Just let them be a strike force wherever you want. And don't worry about whether or not Mordermoth controlling us. We'll handle that." And you say yes. There's
Yeah,
no choice
so-
for that
oh,
either.
yeah.
It's just, yeah, sure, no, why not? I mean, I didn't trust you before, but to give you sniper rifles and let you do whatever you want, sure. Like, how does that make any sense?
Well, that's a huge problem with the story. Well, I know a huge problem, but it again is another little minor gripe. Your choices are totally meaningless, pretty much. I mean,
Well, I mean,
and there aren't any.
even in the
really.
personal story, like the original personal story, your choices, it all ended in the same place, but like it branched out among the middle. Like you pick your order that you went into, like you picked which guy to help at the end. I still think the best moment of the personal story was that little Zura dying, getting exploded by his bombs, and then like his wife getting mad at you and running away. Like I
She's
love
still
that
mad,
part.
apparently.
Yeah, she is. She's still mad. And I don't know, like maybe that's just because I'm like sadistic, but whatever. I thought it was funny. It had emotion.
Phil Ken, I did like the music, like the songs composed for the maps, and
I
like the
hated
music as
all
a
of
whole.
that.
Really?
I like it. I like the
I
music.
think it's
I really
really
like
good.
the music.
Yeah, I'm a
But I
big fan.
don't like some of the way that the music was placed in the storyline, in the personal story, because there were some monumental moments in the storyline that should have had good music accompanying, like a swell of music or some kind of epic sounds to it, but there wasn't any. And in fact, for when we already did the spoiler, Air dies. For when Air dies, it was almost completely silent, except I think it was just a continuation of whatever music was playing beforehand. I just think that
Oh my
it was
God,
whatever.
no.
So that was annoying. Anyway,
Yeah, that is pretty annoying. But I mean, what do you think? Where do you think they're gonna go with the living story? Seeing as we've kind of looked at the past now, let's look to the
The
future.
egg is gonna hatch and make a
Yeah.
new dragon.
But I mean, why? What's the big deal with that though? Where's that going?
Well, hold on a
It's
second. So like Zaitan, his essence went into Mordermoth or something. So now does that mean the Zaitan and Mordermoth essence both went into the egg?
probably.
So
A new elder
so
dragon.
so this egg,
Oh,
which was just a glint little buddy,
Hmm.
is now has Elder Dragon essence in it.
It's probably going to be like people that have baby tigers and baby lions. Like they're really cute when they're babies. And then they grow up and suddenly the predatory instinct takes over and it like eats them. It's like, well, what did you expect? You can't fucking train it. And so it's probably going to be this like pseudo emotional, now we have to kill the little baby dragon when we're all going to remember it, and it's going to be sad, but that's what we have to do instead of killing the next elder dragon, because
I don't know
people are
though.
gonna be tired of that, and then after that it will be the next elder dragon.
I don't know though. I'm thinking maybe they're going along the lines of like the birth of a new god kind of thing.
I bet I'm gonna make a prediction right now. Ogden Stonehealer is gonna study it and it's gonna kill him, and then there will be no more
Ooh.
dwarves.
He'll be the last
No.
dwarf.
That's what's gonna happen.
That's
I don't think
interesting.
so.
Now that is
I don't think
interesting. It does sound like something that can happen though, seeing as he is kind of into that shit. Because of course the dwarves were
Ogden
entrusted with
Stonehealer
the
is
previous
called
one.
Ogden Stonehealer for a reason.
Yeah, he's a monk, but that doesn't work anymore.
Mm-mm.
I'm thinking that he's called Stonehealer because he's eventually prophesized to heal the dwarves of being stone.
But what?
He dies, he meets Jalus, and then the dwarves come back and help us slay the dragon.
Ooh.
There we
But,
go.
but they're
There you go.
from Guild Wars 1. They won't do any damage. The
Next
highest
expansion.
the highest hit in Guild Wars 1 is like 200.
50.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's
Next
not going to do
expansion,
anything.
Tengu and dwarves as
I-
playable characters.
No. That will never happen.
Tengu.
They have a freaking city already, don't
Yeah,
they?
they do.
So it's Tengu's got to happen at some point.
I don't understand the hype about Tengu. Why does everyone want to play Tengu?
I really don't think Tengu are gonna happen.
Why not a
Really?
Hylic? Now that's what I'm talking about.
I
Playing
don't
as a
think
Hylic.
I don't think there's ever going to be a new race, just because it would actually take effort to like redesign all of the armor and make new armor. And for some reason, all they want to do is design like one or two sets of armor and then put outfits in the gem store. So unless they decide to like make every single piece of armor a gem store unlock for the Tengu, I don't think they're gonna put any effort into it. So
That is tough, actually.
yeah.
Yeah. It's possible that they've been working on that this entire time, though.
Yeah. It's
they're
possible that they've been working on the story from the expansion this entire time, and look how that turned out.
For sure, no. Because story-wise, I think there's a group of writers, and they're in charge of basically everything. So, you have your storyline, and it was put on pause for the living story was put on pause because they wrote this expansion, and now they're back to the living story. So there's no. It's not like there was another team writing just for the expansion. I don't think there was just another team writing for the
I
expansion.
think the team is like 2 or 3 people.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Is it?
I think it's like 2 or 3 people.
That's not a lot. However, do you think they've kept anything back, or are they now going to have to make fresh content, or do they have some already prepared so they can kind of keep it going? Because I mean, the tempo of the living story was pretty good actually. Once every 2 weeks, that's not bad. So when that starts up again, you're going to be getting that extra value for your expansion. Because in my opinion, you've already got your value. I mean, how many? Actually, if they did nothing except add the raid and elite specializations, I'd almost say that's worth it. In fact, I probably would say that's worth it.
I
So
have
$40, $45, $50, whatever it was.
I have enjoyed the raids And I think the lore in the raids, as little of it that there is right now, I think that's better than the story in the expansion. Honestly, like I think it is because there's mystery. There's like stuff you go in and observe and have like epic fights along the way. And like whenever you have like learned about the lore and stuff after doing the raid a little bit, and you go back through it right after you kill Gorseval, and on the way to Sabbatha, there's one bandit fighting one ghost, and it's like, oh, I never saw that before. What the fuck? They're not in cahoots. They're like fighting each other, and then you like go back and read the lore again, and it's like, oh, wow. Yeah, that one time the bandit said that we couldn't control them or whatever. Or if they knew what we did, then they would try to all kill us. And so.
Mm-hmm. This makes me think about, like, Teapot was talking about, it makes me think about the whole expansion thing. Because 3 years, was it 3 years before the expansion came out about?
Yeah.
And in that 3 years, through Living Story and updates, you got Fractals of the Mist, you got a few maps, right? You got 1, 2, 3, 4 maps, is it?
4, yeah.
Yeah. So overall, I guess the expansion is giving you, in less time, more stuff than we got through Living Story updates. Not storyline-wise, though. But you have to pay for it, as opposed to just getting it for free. So I think it was a smart move for ArenaNet to do it this way, because they get to make things more more. Oh God,
that one was pretty clever. I'm not
Yeah, that's not bad. Okay, going. Get rid of that message. Okay.
R.I.P. Pussy Destroyer.
I don't know. So yeah, so for an expansion, I think it was necessary because people were getting tired of just Living Story updates and small packages.
Yeah.
Is it better than just Living Story updates? Slightly.
I don't
Slightly
think
better.
so.
It's not better. It's not better storyline wise, but content wise, there's no way we would have gotten all this content if they had just given Living Story updates until now, because it let them take their efforts, concentrate their efforts, and put together a large package of content that we wouldn't have gotten otherwise, I think. What's going to happen for the future, though, I don't know. Because do you think that HoT was enough of a success for them to continue making the same type of expansion in the future?
According to Nemesis, no, it wasn't.
Yeah, because it doesn't get any viewers on Twitch, Kappa.
Honestly, if there even is another expansion, I don't think it's going to be for a while. It's probably going to be a couple years.
How many years do you think realistically, how many years do you think they worked specifically on Heart of Thorns?
Probably less than one.
Less than one. Okay, so let's say they started right when Heart of Thorns finished and started working on a new expansion, and it came out in 2 years, and it was again $50. Would you think we'd get more content than we did in Heart of Thorns?
I think there will be different content.
More? I don't know.
I think the elite specializations have been a huge like departure from what they wanted them to be, because it literally is power
Better.
creep.
Yeah, it is.
It was like when Synchro Summons came out, that completely changed Yu-Gi-Oh! And you couldn't play old decks anymore.
Okay.
You just got to run over.
Up 38 minutes and 50 seconds. About that is
pretty good.
And now pendulums are out, and you literally just get run over by fucking Pepe. Anyways, like, if you're not playing an elite specialization, like, regular warrior is not going to do 25k burns.
No.
And it's not going to do fucking 60k DPS with, like, old greatsword power build. Not going to do
that.
that.
But the 25k burns, though, I mean, that's just that one skill that is probably going to get changed.
Kind of.
Yeah.
It's predominantly that.
Yeah. But you're right. The
like
PS
Reaper?
Warrior.
Yeah, like PS Warrior is
straight up what it is.
It's strong.
Yeah.
And like Reaper is I like it in every way, like more than I like regular Necromancer.
Of course, because it's better.
Yeah, and like Chronomancer, like playing a Mesmer is irrelevant. Like there's no point.
Yeah.
Chronomancer is broken as hell.
It is. So the question is though, why the reason why this happened is because they had to make elite specs fun and interesting to play and make people want to play those specializations in order to make people want to buy the expansion, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So but obviously they don't want it to be necessary to buy an expansion to play the game anymore, right? You want to make it so that it's even power with everything else. Except obviously that hasn't happened in the first bit. Do you think it's because you think they're going to nerf the elite specializations in the future, maybe in the next few months, to make it come back in line with the rest of the things, or are they going to buff the core specializations? Do you think they're going to balance it? Basically, is what I'm asking, so that it is no longer a power creep.
No.
I think some of them, very few of them are balanced with the other classes, like Scrapper and honestly Reaper. As much as people don't think it is, it really is kind of another just choice you have with Necromancer. Like it's not really better damage. It looks like it is, but it's really not. And Scrapper is just like a different set of utilities, really. And in a lot of cases, it's not better damage. So those two are kind of fine. But then you have stuff like Dragon Hunter and Chronomancer and Berserker. They're honestly just out of control. Like, they're just out of control. Daredevil seems like it's, again, like just a kind of a different way to do Thief.
But the funny thing is, it's like you mentioned Berserker, but Berserker is out of control for specifically PvE.
Yeah,
For raids. It's not
exactly.
out of control for it's the worst for PvP.
Yeah,
So that makes me think that if they're gonna balance anything, they're gonna have to balance separately.
you're gonna have to split
nowadays.
them, and I don't think that's
Definitely.
gonna happen. And a lot of people are speculating that Berserker is gonna get nerfed, and I don't think it is. Like, the only way I think they're going to nerf Berserker would be to, as a whole, just rebalance burning, which I really don't know if that's going to happen at this point. Or like just make it one big fire field. Like those are the only two ways you can really.
Why
do anything
didn't they
with it.
just make it one big fire field?
I don't know, because that was just
Weird.
part of the gimmick.
Because reasons.
Yeah.
Reasons, Boots.
All right.
Yeah. But even if they did that and it was one big fire field, it would still be better than base warrior, right?
Yeah, because I mean, you just burst it super fast.
If you look at a raid group, the only profession that isn't going to be using elite spec is probably NG,
Yeah,
I think. And am I correct in saying that?
yeah.
I
Because
believe-
the gyros are useless, and it doesn't help your condition damage.
I think Nemesis does run a Necromancer that is the Wraith, of course, is not a Reaper, is it? It's
Yeah.
it uses standard, so you can keep at range with your shroud.
Yep.
So I guess, I mean, yeah, that's pretty good, I guess. I haven't seen him do a raid with that build though yet, so we'll have to see how it performs.
I'm pretty sure I have.
Have you?
I'm pretty sure when I was raiding with him, he was using that or
Huh.
something similar.
Is it any good?
I mean, we killed Gorseval with it on like 2 pulls,
There you go then.
and
So-
he had like 1800 toughness, so, and he wasn't tanking.
Wow.
But
That's-
yeah.
that's-
that was a fun experience.
Oh.
That's all I'll say about that.
Wait, was he running Death Magic
I don't know. I don't think he was.
for the 14% interest?
That was like that was the first time I experienced like people like
doing whatever they wanted.
in beating the raid. Yeah, exactly. Because like I remember the tank said like, I have 3,000 toughness. Does anyone have more than that? It's like more.
Who would have one?
And some guy was like, I have 2,200, and there was a guy
Oh,
who's
wait,
like,
sorry, Tio. How do you have 3,000 toughness?
It's armor.
I don't know.
I think it's armor, right?
yeah, 3,000 armor, I guess.
Okay, all right.
And then like someone was like, yeah, I have like 2,000 toughness or something. I was like, do we have 2 tanks? And then another guy was like, Nemesis was like, I have 1,800. And then like someone else was like, I have 1,600. And then there were 2 people that had like 1,400. And I was like,
To be fair, though, I have a build that I did it's going to be a bootspad build that is a Reaper that has 2,000 toughness approximately. It's meant to be a tank,
yeah,
but it does the same amount of damage as a DPS Necro.
I can
not a
tell
Connie.
you exactly what that build is.
Yeah.
Because I already have it on my channel.
Oh, you do?
Ragged.
Yeah,
Punished. Punished.
I guess
You'll have to do
Cavalier's
Brazil's bad
armor
build.
and death magic.
yeah.
And then you
Yeah,
abuse
you should,
decimate
I
got you,
defenses.
bro.
All right, you should delete that video. So like,
Just upload Brazil's video. Just
Yeah.
download it and upload it.
Just put your own commentary over it.
Yeah.
Damn you.
Oh, you could like I have. with-
I'll just use your footage for the footage I put behind.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, okay, that works.
You can
Done.
just use just get on Premiere and path your face on Brazil's face just the whole time, and no one will know.
Yeah.
And you can even do Brazil's logo, but do it with World of Enders
Mhm.
Why tank when you can kill?
because
Because you need a
it
tank.
is necessary. Yeah.
This is necessary.
It is
It's
necessary.
on Veil Guardian and Gorse of All.
Ah,
Yeah,
yeah,
you don't
of course.
want-
It's not
just like
necessary on Sabbatha.
Mm.
But even then, you could still not change your build for that Necro because
Yeah,
it's the same damage.
exactly. It literally is the same damage.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't build its own might, but you don't need that in raids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it doesn't build its own vulnerability either. But
Yep.
You don't need that in raids either.
Yep.
Well, you need it, but not.
It's just passive because you have 10 people.
Anyway, so that's that. What were we talking about again?
I don't know.
Specializations, power creep fiesta.
Yep.
And
Right.
it is.
Okay. So we think that it needs to be balanced. I think everybody thinks that it needs to be balanced. Is it going to be balanced properly? Who knows? The point is, it is going to get balanced in such a way that at least it's a little bit less obvious that it's much better to be an elite spec than it is to be a normal core spec. But that's been done already. So what happened is everybody saw that they're more powerful. So those people who buy the game just because they think it's more powerful have already bought the game.
Sure.
So the damage is done, but it's not damage. It's good for ArenaNet. And now they could balance everything properly. I think it's a great idea to do what they did, which is to make elite specs overpowered for the first 2 months of the game.
That's what Konami does with the ban lists. Because you have shit like fucking Plushfire and Damage Juggler and Wavering Eyes all at 3. And so you buy the new cards and you pay expensive prices for them and you buy boxes. And then they just hit it on the ban list like 2 months later. And it's like, well, time to buy more cards and new stuff. And that's how it cycles. And ArenaNet does the gem store. Oh, this outfit's slightly cooler than the last one. Let me buy it. Oh my god, there's white wings. Let me buy it. Or this expansion, these classes are overpowered. Let me buy it. And then they nerf them later on. So that wouldn't surprise me. Like if there's a next feature pack or something.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Now, if they are now working on an expansion, the next expansion that comes in, let's say, 2 years, does that mean there will be less? Because we already are promised the full raid before the next expansion, let's say. What else were we promised in the living world?
More than one raid.
Yeah.
We were promised more than one raid before the next expansion?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they said 2 or 3
2 or 3?
raids, not
Yeah.
wings.
So
Raids.
that'll be 9 wings then, right? Or 6
Yeah.
to 9, or maybe more. Who knows?
So
That's a lot of bosses. That's going to be a lot of bosses to kill every week, isn't it?
It is.
I guess when you get really good at them, you can just kind of crack through.
Well,
I mean,
you,
and that's-
you just have to make the old ones irrelevant and then do the new ones.
And rewards are going to
I-
be fantastic at that point for raids.
I don't know if I like that though. Do you not want to keep them all relevant? I kind of say yes, actually. I mean, obviously, there will be some raids where the rewards are, in a sense, better. But I don't want to I don't want to say goodbye to Veil Guardian. Come on.
I do.
That's-
I hate that fight.
Oh.
I'm surprised you don't, because every week when we try to do that, it just wrecks us for like half an hour until
Yeah.
we struggle through it and beat
Why
it.
is that?
But it's fun. It's fun. It's because
don't
it's the
think it's
only
fun.
fight where it's probably the fight where you have to pay the most attention. Honestly,
Yeah.
in Sabbatha you can.
I like
I mean,
that.
you've got the bombs, but you can be semi AFK and still do it. You know.
Yeah.
And
I don't even.
Gorseval-
I don't even look at the screen on Sabbatha or Gorseval.
Just
I
look at the
literally
bar.
just look at my bar to make sure my timings are perfect.
Yeah.
Because you don't need to. Like, I can see out of my peripheral vision or whatever it's called, like when Gorseval is punching, and that's the only thing that's important. And like Sabbatha, whenever anything happens, your like screen flashes. So I mean,
I honestly still find all the fights fun.
Yeah. I do too.
I think it might be because I haven't done them that often, but I've done I beat them all like 3 times or something. Yeah, I don't know. So if all the rest of the raids that come out are as fun, then I'm happy. But anyway, going back to my question, so there's two. You're saying at least 2 raids coming out, 2 raids or 2 wings?
raids.
2 raids coming out before the next expansion.
That may have been a little optimistic when they
Maybe.
were talking about that.
And is it written down somewhere or?
Crystal Reed said it in an interview. At like
Oh, then no,
PAX.
I wouldn't. I mean, we can't rely on that. That's. I mean, she might think that, but things
Yeah.
change. So,
I know. I was just saying that was like discussed.
yeah.
It was brought up. That's so.
Yeah. So it's
If it
very
happens,
possible. It's very possible.
We'll just
but-
have one.
Yeah.
That's entirely possible because it took a little while for the first wing to come out, and there's like absolutely no word on wing 2 even,
Mm.
and so who knows?
Now, so my question though is that because the first 3 years of the game, we were getting the Living World expansions, the Living World releases that included quality of life changes, included new features, etc., etc. Do you think we'll be getting that still? The new features, the new quality of life stuff in the same amount as we did before? Or will they not do that anymore because they're going to wait to bundle it all in an expansion nowadays?
I don't know.
I think they will do a feature pack-esque thing.
I think it would be really funny if there was another expansion that came out that had new elite specializations and at the same time they nerfed the old ones.
Oh,
That would be ridiculous.
no.
That would be pretty bad.
No.
But you would still
the
only get them
subreddit. I
if you
can
have
see it
HoT.
now, Brazil. I can see it now.
I can too.
Oh my god, no.
But you still only get them if you buy HoT, right?
Yeah, but the nerf is for everyone.
The nerf is gonna happen.
I don't think it is. I don't see
I
it
think
coming.
it's gonna happen.
I think they're just gonna say, okay, this hasn't gone exactly as we planned. They're not a different way to play. They kind of are in some of them, but mostly they're kind of strictly better. A lot of them. But
But
I
if they're
think
strictly better, okay. So hold on a second though. Instead of nerfing, what about buffing the core specializations?
I think
I don't
that's.
think that's gonna happen.
I would prefer them to do that because that would be interesting actually. In fact, I definitely like that because right now, if you try and play PvP without HOT, have fun.
Yep.
I
If
think
you
that's
try
really
to play
needed.
it with HOT, have fun.
No,
just
I
fighting
can't. I
bunker with
can't do it,
bunker.
Brazil. It's not possible. I tried, but
You can't have
I
fun in
failed.
PvP right
I
now.
actually even Stronghold
Yep.
wasn't fun. I like Stronghold more than Conquest, and even that was
I do
invaded.
too.
It just feels bad.
Okay,
man.
so Cyan's saying that they're called elite specs for a reason, so they are going to be better than the other ones. It's only the other elite specs that we're eventually going to unlock that are going to be options to the other elites.
Nah, that's not what they said, is it? That isn't what they said.
That's not what they
Opposite
said.
of what they said.
No. Yeah, of course they won't be able to buy their expansion, but it doesn't mean they can. But playing a Tempest is cool. That's enough reason to want to play it. I mean, I like playing Daredevil, but it's bad, but I still
It's
like
terrible.
it. Yes, but it's fun. It's a lot of fun. Playing a Tempest is fun. Watching 25k burn ticks is fun.
Oh,
You know?
Hold on. I have to
Oh.
answer this.
Okay, do it.
Watching a card. A card?
What?
A card.
Oh, I see. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Card?
We've got further than that, and I think
My-
Rex
my
has posted
friends.
the image as well.
We've evolved past cards.
What? Why is she holding that like that?
I think you know. I think.
I think-
I think. I think. I think you know, Boots. Did they promise dueling? Did that happen?
No, they didn't promise dueling.
Wasn't that ages ago though? Like a really long
They
time.
didn't
ago?
promise dueling. They never promised dueling. They said that's something that we're looking at. I know people thought it's a good idea. We might be looking at that.
Yeah, raise your Craigasms, Twitch chat. You know, you're gonna need a lot of those. Yeah.
Wait,
It's damaged.
Go
Most
find the article.
Whoa.
Go find the article where they promised it, and then link it here, and we'll see.
Wait,
Okay.
let's see. Wait, look at this result. Most trash waifu in Yu-Gi-Oh! Says Umbra. How do you respond to that?
That's what hipsters say, so that's fine. You're still stuck in GOAT format. Get out of it. It's 2016.
Boom. I guess that's right.
This is-
I don't know.
It's 2016.
Yeah. It is. Wow, a whole new year. This is the first tea time of the new year. I didn't even mention
Is
that.
it?
Yeah, right?
Oh wow. We
Yeah.
should put that in the title.
I should, but I didn't do that. I didn't. The thing is, if
Well.
they, my problem with nerfing elite specializations is as follows, especially in PvE. Okay, so suppose that there are a number of guilds that just beat the bosses. Okay, they just did it. You know, it's really close every time. You know, they're working on getting better, but they just beat it. Then if they nerf the elite specializations, they're all using those. So then they fail and they quit the game.
Yeah.
And they're sad. Well, they don't quit the game.
They
but
would really quit the game.
What is this thing? What is this thing here? What is this?
Is that... Is it real? Maybe. What, the Steam code?
There's a kappa there, so I don't know about that.
Yeah, exactly. Is it... What game is it, I wonder? It's probably some piece of shit game. I don't know. Yeah. A disappointment quest? Wow, what's going on? Anyway.
Oh, 200.
What? 200 club? 200 view
Yeah.
bots. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So should we talk about the maps? Having 4 maps. You know, I thought I was not going to be satisfied, but actually, I kind of am in some respects.
Why?
Because they're really big and cool.
They are good. They are good maps.
I
Nice
think
and-
Vernon Brink is an excellent map.
They're beautiful.
I don't
maps.
like Verdant Brink. I hate Verdant Brink.
Why?
Okay, that's fair. He hates things. It's just him.
Yeah.
Teapot, don't worry.
The
The only map I like is Tangled Depths.
What? Why would you like that map?
It's fun.
Because it's got the Jared.
The Jared
You're
is
talking. You're
amazing.
talking about content wise.
Everything wise.
Okay.
Everything.
There's a cave with a huge skelk in it. There's
That is
like
true.
I like Rada Novus. I just don't think there's enough of it. And I like all of the like lore theory that's where the fractal like fell off or whatever. And it's like mysterious. I like the chalk lanes and that meta event. Great, it takes way too long. Like 2 hours
Ooh.
is stupid. But I don't know. Like Dragon Stand I thought Dragon Stand was cool until raids came out, and then I realized how just trash all of it is and how trash all the fights are. And so,
The
whatever.
Mouth of Mordremoth fight. It's so cool. You fight a giant snake
It's not.
thing.
It's not cool.
But it is.
It's not cool at all.
It is the first time and kind of the first few times.
I
After
thought it was cool the first time, but after
Yeah,
that, it was
exactly.
like, okay,
After you've
very
grinded
we're
it.
literally fighting Brahm's snow leopard penis. So,
Rox is happy.
exactly.
Yeah. I mean, we're a little bit jaded because of all the crystalline ore fiesta and trying to
I
get
hate-
leadership
I-
runes. and
I
stuff.
like getting the pods. I like going through and farming pods after it's over. I like doing that. in
That's because you
Dragon's
get
Den.
things. Getting things.
I
is
hate
good.
everything else about Dragon's
Yeah,
Den.
because you've done it loads of times.
No, I thought it was neat the first time, and that's literally just because it's shiny and new, and you think everything is good, kind of like the
Brazil,
expansion.
what could possibly what would you change about it to make it shiny, new, and happy, and you'd love it every 100 times you do it. Like what? Of course, it's awesome because this is the first time you experience it. Maybe the first 5 times, it's epic, it's awesome. Then after 20, 30, 40 times, yeah, you're gonna get tired of it.
Yeah.
Right.
And just
So
kill
it's not that you
every.
don't not like it. You're just tired of it because you've done it so many times
No, it's like I don't like it.
because you're tired of it.
No, I just don't think it's good.
Okay, what is bad about it?
There are only 3 lanes when there were supposed to be 4.
That's the only reason.
No, because like some of the fights are cool. Like some of the bosses, like the 3 Mordrum commanders or whatever. Which that is another interesting point because I remember a blog post a long time ago saying that there were 3 commanders, and then Dragon Stand is designed for 4. So how long ago did they make Dragon Stand? That's really interesting.
Ooh.
The Mordrum invasion event is when that blog post went up about the 3 commanders. So it was a little while before the expansion came out. Interesting. But I don't know, like it's like you progress through stuff and you like kill those big breacher vines or whatever, and you just kill mobs for a long time. It's basically like it's for people that just want to like grind through stuff for experience and then like kill a boss. Like I don't like that.
I mean, yeah, it's very different from all other maps that sort of reward exploration more than anything.
Yeah.
Because this, it's just, very linear. You plow through things. Are there places in Dragon's Den that you could explore?
Yeah.
While,
That
okay.
you can do like after the map is finished.
After the
That's
map is
the
finished, yeah.
safest time to do it. I guess technically you can do it while the map's going on, but it's just like RIP. But like I would honestly be happier if Auric Basin never existed, because I hate that map so much.
Is it because of the event?
Because of that, because it's literally just a golden city that could have been cool, but is designed poorly, is laid out poorly, and it could have been neat if they made it like a big castle or something. Like it was like Stone Mist Castle, like some horse shit. I think it would have been cool like that. But like the map is very flat. I think MagicalMike said that too. Unless you're like going under the city, but still, whatever. Like I don't know. I don't like Auric Basin, and Verdant Brink is probably more of something that I'm just tired of, and I don't like it because of that. But the only 2 things I liked about Verdant Brink really were farming spiders, because I enjoy just farming things repetitively. I do. I don't really know why. That's probably why I had so much fun just doing dungeons over and over. So I like that, and I also like going around and gathering airship cargo with crowbars. Those are really the only 2 things I like about it. But
And this is kind of the other problem with HoT. It is the grind fest, and I know you do indeed enjoy grinding, Brazil. So I guess it's fine for
I
you.
like some types of grinding.
But I mean, with the way it is with all the map currency and stuff, it is kind of gotta do these maps a lot, and to get all the the specialization weapons, the collections and stuff. I mean, you had a lot of fun with Dark Harvest, didn't you, Brazil?
No.
Oh.
I hated it.
Don't bring that up. Oh, poor guy.
I hated every minute of that.
Yeah, we'll talk. We should talk about in a little bit. We should talk about
Collections?
like the collections. Yeah. But first of all, I just want to say for the maps, I agree with Teapot. I like them. I like them a lot, and the reason I like them a lot is especially in comparison to all the other maps in the game. Because, well, except for, maybe they're a little bit less colorful because there's a lot less change from place to place. It's all forest. It's all pretty much forest or cave. But it is each of the new maps. First of all, I like the difficulty of them. Second of all, they're much more difficult than the core game maps. They're much more hard to kill things, to navigate through. I like the difficulty of it. I like the interesting aspects. I mean, the gliding. It's just the gliding makes everything so much better, obviously. Um, they're way more vertical. Each of them are way more vertical than the other. And they're just, all of them are so much better than the core maps, and they put a lot of effort into that, and I like that. I don't see what's wrong with that.
I absolutely don't think they're more difficult. I think they're more artificial and annoying and trying to prove a point that if you try to run through a map with Berserker's armor, you're going to die. Just like the fractal instabilities. They like put on this pedestal like some weird developer fetish of this is going to be artificially hard. I know, but if you're you or me, you probably don't. But if you're like average Joe that just finds meta builds on the internet.
Okay. So maybe for other people it's not fun, but for me the difficulty is more fun.
It's they promise this was something we talked about. They promised better AI that's like reactive, and it's really not. It's AI that just uses evade skills or like charges or moves around on a pattern. There's not really anything reactive about it. It's just that they have attacks that are designed to be more irritating.
Yeah.
And it's literally not more difficult. It's more annoying. There's a very big difference.
Yep.
Raid bosses are more difficult. Mobs in the open world are more annoying. There's a huge difference between the two things.
Yeah, I see that. I see that, but at the same time, it's more I find it more difficult and annoying at the same time, I guess, but I kind of like it because it makes me feel like the jungle is a dangerous place.
Why does the jungle have to be arbitrarily more dangerous than anywhere else?
I guess because nobody's ever been there before, and
there are civilizations and cities like Tarir and all kinds of stuff all over.
It's a city full of dormant magical beings.
Yeah, that inhabited by
that haven't been. Nobody's been there in
and frogs years. And all kinds of stuff all around it.
Yeah, the frogs. Good point.
And the Tengu that are there.
There's like a pocket of Tengu.
Yeah, there are settlements of things, and it's
small
just
settlements living
arbitrarily that the jungle's more harsh and whatever, and the only types of things that can live there are enemies.
There's fucking dinosaurs there, man.
I know.
That is true.
So the frogs just kill the dinosaurs and they're whatever. Like, I don't know, it doesn't make sense to me. It's like a bad forced meme. It's like the Gilgamesh guy from whenever I was 13 years old. That no one's gonna get that reference.
No, I don't think so. Someone search that and figure out what that is.
Yeah, you're definitely right on the annoying thing, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I intend to do some experiments on the AI to actually prove that they're just as stupid as they were before.
They absolutely are.
Yeah, but I mean, I haven't seen anything clever, but I'll probably go and test it. Test the Fiesta. Test the AI. See if the AI passes the IQ test or the Turing test. Probably not. What?
Wow, the fabled Umbra gets it.
Of course.
Of course he is.
Anyway, the one thing I'm very disappointed about in all the new maps, though, is that there is no giant T-Rex that comes out and kills everybody.
That would have been cool to have a meta event instead of fucking Octavine, where there's like a T-Rex that just like comes out of the jungle and he like runs around the map, and you have to like stop him at checkpoints.
Yeah,
that would have been amazing.
That would have been dank.
But you know what? ArenaNet's all about missed opportunities, so there we go.
The Tarir event, in my opinion, is kind of the odd one out.
It's
actually.
Trash.
I think
trash.
it is the odd one.
Absolute trash.
I have never completed it because I don't enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just not as good as the other ones, is it? Really? I mean, Tangled Depths is a pretty cool event. I mean, it's nerfed now. Kind of feels bad, man, about that, unfortunately. But it's still pretty cool with with the lanes, and you have to move up the lanes and do these things to kill the Garant and stuff. Vernon Brink, you got all those bosses at night just going crazy. And then obviously Dragon Stand, you have the memes, the giant worm, kill the giant worm. But what do you have in fucking Auric Basin? You have vines clinging to doors. I mean, are you serious? What is this? That's
Where
not
did
a
they
boss
come
fight.
from?
Yeah, they just
Mordremoth,
appear.
I guess.
I mean, what?
Or are they gone now that Mordremoth is
I
dead?
love how it ends if you fail. There's this big
Oh.
scream, ah! And then it says, it just pops up on the screen, and Exalted sacrificed himself to, like, kill the Octavines.
I really
It's a
don't.
good thing that he
I don't
respawned
like,
at a waypoint.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
really dislike that. That end. If the fail, because you kind of think, well, sure. The whole point of these Exalted are they're quite limited in number, right? So they.
That
You
gif
just-
is incredible.
Oh, what is it?
Oh, man.
Oh, do I want to click this? What is it?
It's not bad. That's so good.
Okay.
There are people
What the-
actually remember.
Is that Gilgamesh?
Yeah, it's the guy.
Wow.
It was from this like weeaboo Japanese commercial.
Wow. Yeah. Octomine is a fetish of some weeaboo and ArenaNet tentacles humping doors. Seriously? What face? Yeah, it is actually pretty kind of weird. I don't know. I don't really like that event. And someone made a very good point, actually, and Mike did say this in his video, that it is kind of a bit frantic with the participation system. You gotta go, oh, I gotta get 200% participation. I gotta run around the map, and all these events are happening at different times. It's just stressful, and it is pretty stressful. You know, there's things going on, and then with all the timers, especially in Auric Basin, actually, you know, oh, I gotta get over there and do that, but then I gotta go and do this, and you have to do all those weird challenges. The 4 weird challenges and try and win them. I don't know. It doesn't really make any sense.
That's the commercial. He linked the commercial, by the way.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. Continue.
Brazil, how was my first time chronomancing in the raid? Was it okay?
You missed some quickness uptime, but it was
think
good for a
did
first
we win?
time.
Did we win?
We did. We beat him.
Good
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah.
Wow. Umbra has transcended being a weeaboo. He identifies
Good.
as the main character of the anime called Life. Whoa. That's pretty meta, actually. Oh, yeah. Anyway.
Okay, so let's talk about
Collections.
collections. Then.
Collections.
Yeah.
They shouldn't even be called collections.
What should they
Because
be
a
called?
collection is something that you like carefully accumulate and you take care of and you value very dearly. It's not some random bullshit items you just go get from somewhere and then vendor to get a reward from. The reward of having a collection is the collection. Like, that's why I have a binder filled with 6 Exodia sets, because having 6 Exodia sets is the reward. It's something valuable that you care about. It's not going... You disagree with me.
No, just the 6 Exodia sets makes me laugh.
No, there's other stuff in it, but...
Okay.
I mean, that's what a collection is. A collection is enjoying something, going to get it, going to get more of it, and keep... You don't agree with me.
It does fit the definition of a collection. You have to go around and do specific things to collect things.
And then you vendor it because you don't care and it's not valuable.
Well, what are you gonna do with it?
I mean, what's the solution? I mean, do you just have a bank?
The solution
You have a bank
is
tab
not
for all
call
of
it a
this shit.
collection.
I mean,
The solution,
I have a solution.
is call it a gathering quest or something.
I have a solution.
what's
But
the
they don't want to
solution?
call it a quest because that's from other games, and ArenaNet has to be revolutionary. What's your solution?
Display cases in your either guild hall or Eye of the North, or the
All of
Yeah, I mean,
monuments.
that would actually work.
I like it.
If it's stuff that you like got and kept, that would be fine. But it
Yeah,
would
you can-
also have to be stuff different than like a gift of gliding or like a fungus from a treasure mushroom. That's not that no one like. I'm sure people would collect something like that, but they would also probably
It's
be naked,
better than
rolling
Yu-Gi-Oh
around in the
cards.
mud all day. Like, you have to literally be insane to collect stuff like that, but whatever.
I like that idea a
Yeah.
lot, Boots. In fact, ArenaNet, make it happen. That's very cool.
Yeah.
Good job.
display cases.
Yeah.
in your probably not your guild hall because then everybody has to see them. But let's say you're out of the Northville area.
Yeah. Or your home instance somewhere, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
your home instance. There you go. A use for the home instance, guys.
Yeah.
We did it.
11 out of 10, Boots. 11 out of 10.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So then what would it do? I guess you wouldn't vendor them anymore. It would just disappear from your inventory or something as soon as you get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's something
Except-
with the legendaries that is a bit of a problem because you can just, I mean, the legendary collections you just power through it. You can just kind of speed run it with gold if you have lots of gold, right? And that's kind of a big problem. And fail events, Ellie Giggle. That's fun.
Yeah, so that I guess is my main. Well, it's not my complaint anyway. It's a complaint that I've seen and I have adopted. for the
I
collections.
hate them. I honestly refuse to do them at this point. I'll never do any of the new legendaries because I refuse to do the collection.
I think I know why that came to be. It seems really stupid on face value, like it seems like really dumb, and it is dumb. But I think I understand why it happened, and I think it's because ArenaNet have a lot of events that happen when things fail or blah blah blah. But there are certain events that never come to be because they always succeed.
Yeah.
So they probably wanted to be like, oh man, we have all these cool events that nobody ever does because they always succeed. Let's find a way to show people these events. And so they did the collection, except
Sure.
people take those collections because they want the thing they're collecting, not because they want to see the events.
Yep.
So there's a thing there. There's a conflict.
Yeah. How did they think that was a good idea, though? I mean, this is in the open world. You've got
Exactly. No, it's a bad
100 plus
idea.
clowns running around, with their red noses and big shoes, asking people to sniff their flower. You're not going to be able to coordinate these people into failing an event. They just fail the IQ test immediately. They don't understand what you're trying to do, and then you get angry. I mean, for example, Mad Tavish, he may or may not be here. He was raging in guild chat because it was just always failing. He was always failing to get something from his Dawn collection. It's pretty funny, actually. But it's just, yeah, exactly. Look, I love trolling the people trying to fail events. Here you go. This guy is part of the problem, He is a clown. He's part of the clown fiesta. That is actually pretty funny, though.
So Brazil hates mostly everything, and the rest of you dare not even disagree. Seems like a typical tea time. What are you used to? Are you used to going on Reddit and crying about everything, and then in 3 months, whenever praise ArenaNet, you just jump on that bandwagon too, and then 3 months later, when it's like nothing is good in this game, you jump on that bandwagon, and you just cycle through that?
I rarely agree with Brazil on.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
we don't all agree on everything. Wait, what's Svankanum? Oh, I don't know. I don't know if you just arrived, but we don't always agree on things, and that's fine.
You're free to dislike things, but Brazil, but I would like more perspectives. Okay, that's fine. But I think the problem here is that the expansion came out and it was glittery and shiny, and then now that we're months past it, people are looking bad at it, thinking about how bad it really was and how much they failed on. That's having a new perspective.
There are
and it's
problems.
almost universal.
There are problems with I mean, there's almost objective problems. They're barely subjective. A lot of these issues. There are things that are just not as they were supposed to be.
Yes.
I mean, do you want us all to agree on something positive? We all like raids. Raids are really good. I don't know.
But
What
it's
else?
hard to have a discussion about something we all think is good.
Exactly. Yeah. There's no problem. Raids
Because
is not an issue.
there's no critical feedback we could give about something we think is great,
Raids. Do it again and many more times.
I actually do disagree with that.
Really?
I think if there's something you think is great, you can tell them why it's great. You can tell them what's great about it, and then they can take that and maybe implement something similar or whatever else.
But then it's over. I mean, then you arguing about something is way more fun.
I mean, I'll just make this point that Tea Time was literally born out of having different perspectives to disagree about things. The very first episode we ever had is I didn't like something, surprise, and we had Boots on to literally like disagree with my point of view. Teapot was a moderator type thing, and Inks was here to just be Inks. That was literally why this was started, like however many episodes ago. It just so happens that we're all agreeing that things were designed poorly because they were, and that's what this episode is about.
But not everything was designed poorly in HoT.
No, not everything
No,
was.
definitely not.
I'd say like 70% of it was.
Oh, no. Come on.
Yeah.
You just said that
70%.
that you think.
No, I
no,
see all
no.
of it, and I think like 70% of it is bad.
That's
Okay,
That's
right. Break it
not
down
right.
by percentage.
Yeah.
What?
Like name 7 things that's wrong, and then we only have to name 4 things that's right to say it's less than 70%.
So, like, let's think of it in a different perspective.
Okay, let's think of it.
What is most of the expansion? I think it's mostly maps. I think it's mostly doing things in the maps. I think it's mostly mastery gating as well. I think there's a little bit that is new stuff to do with the classes, and that little bit that is new stuff to do with the classes, you can't do the new content on it at first, which is what everyone was kind of hoping for. People were kind of hoping for, go around and find lore about why you're a druid, which is kind of what we touched on already. And people were hoping to be able to go through and explore on the new stuff. And the new stuff is waiting around for 2 hours for something to happen, waiting around for people to do mastery points because it's a champion that takes 5 people to kill, or doing boring meta bosses, or whatever the case is, getting killed by mobs that are designed to be annoying. Like, this is all stuff we've already talked about.
I kind of like the fact that you can't solo hero points, though, some of them.
I like that too. I also like the fact that you didn't unlock the entire. I might be crazy, but I think I like the fact that you don't unlock the entire lead spec before you start playing the expansion.
Yeah,
I think that obviously at first they brought down the cost of it all so that you aren't done the expansion by the time you unlock your lead spec, your first lead spec. But I think that it's good that there was a process to it rather than, is the process the right process? I don't know. I think that, you're right. More lore should have been incorporated into it. Maybe added as a storyline for your personal storyline as well. But I do think that it shouldn't have just been unlocked to begin with.
Brazil does not have problems with the core game. Vanilla Guild Wars 2 is one of the best experiences I've ever had playing a video game. And that's why I'm still playing it 3 years later. Having something that was new and honestly like interesting and exciting, and going through the world and leveling and doing this stuff. There were definitely problems I had with it. Like, that's for sure. But it was a really fun experience. And whenever I look back on it and think about it differently, like the personal story, whenever I, look back at stuff like that, there were bad parts of it, like Zaitan, etc. And I still enjoy having done that. I still enjoy, like, the first time I got a character to 80 on Guardian. Granted, I tried to do it again, and I didn't enjoy it the same because it wasn't shiny and new. Whatever, it was something I'd already done, but my memories I have of it are fond. And looking back at Heart of Thorns, I didn't really enjoy it that much to begin with. It was irritating, and it was very easy to see through that they just tried to make it irritating and harder. Honestly, the only things that I really liked from the expansion were elite specializations and raids. And those things alone kind of were worth the $50 to me, I guess, because they're cool. But like the rest of the stuff, I just don't care about, and I've never cared about. So.
I think something else that sort of came with Heart of Thorns, was Stronghold. And Stronghold has so much potential, I think, and it's just it has been infected by the current state of PvP rather. And I don't know, I don't think I know your perspective on this, Boots. What do you think of PvP right now?
I don't like the meta. I don't like the meta at all. I don't like the fact that I can't make a warrior build that works in PvP. Like it works. There's builds that work, but they're just not nearly as good as anything, or can't fight against that well against what's currently being used out there. Um, no, I don't like the meta at all. I think that there's too many things that are way too tanky.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it.
Thing I don't like is that if you're aggressive, you get punished mercilessly. And I don't like defending. When I play a video game, I like to attack things. And in Guild Wars 2, I can't attack things right now. Really. It's not a viable way of playing. You have to just bunker up and go on the defensive and kind of play this kind of endless tug of war, and then eventually, you get one down, and then you can kind of get another one, and you slowly win from there, and I just don't...
But to be honest with you, like, I mean, you could still do some fun stuff. Like, you could still bring a... Like, you know my Elementalist Burst build? The 100 to 0 fresh air.
That wouldn't work anymore. It wouldn't work anymore.
I brought it in, it wrecked face until people realized what was happening, and then just countered it.
Then it doesn't do shit. It doesn't do anything, right?
Exactly. And part of the problem is because there's just so many like passive ways to avoid the damage in the game now, or just complete random chance of having something not work for that kind of damage, that it's just so easy to avoid that damage to begin with, and then it's just a quick whittle down. You know, anyway, it's just the meta. I don't know. What can they do to change that, though?
You have to split between PvE and PvP. Then you can make Tempest. You can make it worse.
No, hold on a second. What is it about PvE that's making the PvP meta this tanky?
If you have something like Reaper with this massive pulsing stability, and with the massive AoE stuff that you have going on, and if you have something like Scrapper, you know, with adaptive armor and shit, and it's just really tanky and really hard to kill, and you have Tempest with a 40% protection, you got permanent Frost Aura more or less.
Right.
You got permanent protection in AoE with all your shouts and stuff.
Reduce all of those things.
Exactly.
Yeah, but also Teapot, those things that's in PvP right now isn't being used in PvE. It's nothing that has not the PvE PvP split has nothing to do with why everything's so tanky.
The PvE and PvP, like, you can have damage builds that are focused on damage, and the bunkers kill them because they can't out-sustain the bunkers. When damage builds, like, that's what they do. They're supposed to kill things, but they can't kill anything. Because you go maximum defense everywhere, and then whatever's building maximum defense kills the damage. Like, things that build for maximum defense aren't supposed to be able to kill stuff. You have a standoff whenever you have unstoppable force hitting a movable object, and then you go do something else, because you're not going to get anywhere with that unless one player is better than the other. It's not. It's like, this is objectively better than everything else, so everyone plays it, and it's not fun because of that. So if you split them, you can make Berserker do infinitely more damage than it does in PvP, so it's actually able to kill things, and I don't know, maybe that would bring in more variety. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about either, but...
I honestly, like, maybe I'm just an idiot, but I honestly think that condition damage is maybe the problem right now. And I'll tell you why. It's because condition damage is the only attribute that doesn't need any other damage attribute. Power needs precision and ferocity.
Yeah.
So when you're going to power build, you can't really go tanky if you want to do damage. If you do go tanky, you're not doing that much damage. But with condition damage, it is very easy to also be tanky. Way too easy to also be tanky. So And also, there's not enough condition removal for many of the classes out there to deal with conditions. So that is the problem, I think. I think that if you want to make it so that condition damage, so that things aren't that tanky and still do damage, you either have to add in some new attribute that condition damage depends on, or you need to remove certain amulets maybe in PvP
You
that
could
allow
just-
you to do condition damage and be tanky.
You could, yeah, add another attribute, sure. Which they kind of did that with expertise, I guess. Because that's just condition duration, and that does depend on, like, that does help your conditions. But, like, you could also just change the condition damage formula for PvP.
Yep.
And also have it different in PvE. Because, like, I don't know. Like, condition duration in PvE is basically just as important as it is as damage. Like, you have to get to 100% burn duration if you want your burn to be worth anything. So, I mean, I don't know. Like, you could just change the formula to where duration is more important, and like you reduce the damage or something.
Yeah, boons is a bad thing. Is a crazy thing going on now in
Yeah.
PvP too. How many boon strippers and boon corruptors are there out there? But that's also condition damage. So it's like, it's not so bad actually. You could play a pretty good necro build that'll defy the meta right now. But as soon as people realize you're playing that build as a necromancer, they're going to shut you down.
Sure.
You can strip a lot of boons, but you can also apply boons really easily right now.
You can apply them way faster than you can remove them.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
there's
it's true.
Necro has a lot of boon strip, but it doesn't have that much boon strip.
No, it
right?
doesn't have enough to take off all the boons of characters, but the good thing about Necro is that you can build it in such a way that when you corrupt a boon, it does a lot more than any other class would when you're corrupting a boon or removing boons, because you can stability turns into fear, which does damage. Resistance turns into chill, which does damage. Aegis turns into burning, which does damage. So as a Condi Corruptomancer, you could at least do a lot of damage while corrupting the boons.
Definitely, especially if you've got some signets with the signet trait, right? Because they all strip corrupt. Even is it corrupt? I think it's corrupt, isn't it? Or is it just strip?
The signets is corrupt. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Boom. So that's good. But the thing is, that's still single target, right? And if you've got something like a Tempest, you're just kind of spamming, hammering the utility skills. You just got mass boons just going crazy everywhere. AoE to the whole party. I mean, what are you going to do? Run 5 corrupt necros, right? I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. Apart from the signet build, you sacrifice too much for it. There is Rim, PvP aficionado. He's nearly at legend. Wow.
Yeah, no, but that's funny though. That's one class, one build that could defy the meta. Whereas the rest is just playing into the meta. The rest is just following
Anti-meta
along.
is always gimmicky, and it always eventually gets shut down.
Yeah, because people figure out how to beat it.
Yep.
And
That's
then,
it. But that's still just. I'm still saying that's just one class. If
yeah, it is.
and that's so there should if you want to mess up a meta, if you want to diversify a meta from just being this tanky crap, there needs to be more than just one build that could possibly stand up to it.
Yeah.
But there isn't.
yeah. Say if they also, what's really good is the amount of insane healing that is available to pretty much everyone. Well, a lot of things in PvP have crazy amount of healing. You got your druids, you have your meme tempests that never die but also heal for loads. And then if you nerf that and there's no split, you also kind of make it harder in PvE as well. Because suddenly, honestly, the druid healing is probably a bit too strong, even in PvE. That's probably going to get nerfed. I think.
It's really strong. I don't think it's going to get nerfed.
You don't think? I think it will. I did think.
Sorry,
this is what they
paying
do.
attention.
This is what they do to druid healing. They reduce the base values, but increase the scaling.
Yeah,
So you
for
can't
sure.
if you run Zerka, you heal.
I'm
Maybe you don't even heal enough. But then if you
I was
run,
very surprised that the bases were so high to begin with.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And then if
Repost
you,
question.
oh wait, what? There's a question. Oh,
Oh, it's
go for it.
little
What?
little off topic from what we were talking about, but why not?
Oh,
Don't you guys think that ANET missed out with Exalted not being the Merset? Leaving that egg with an ancient race that we know that can't be trusted could have been a better way to set up story later on than leaving with a random floating race of Mary Sue's. Yeah,
mm,
yeah, like because we know the Merset are actually no, everybody knows the Merset are bad.
mm. The thing is, I mean, I was really amazed because they kind of look a bit like Mersat, and then our player characters come up to them in the story, and we've got the egg. We're running around with the egg, and then within about 5 minutes, we just goes, "Oh yeah, you guys can take this. It's fine. It's cool, right?" And they just go ahead and take it, and we're just totally cool with that. Our character trusts them in about 10 seconds. Just, what is this? I don't. That was really a jarring moment for me. I thought, how much time has passed here? You know? It's just
Yeah,
like,
there's a lot of jarring moments for me in the storyline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, but I would have loved it if they were Merset. That'd be cool way of tying in Guild Wars 1's lore to
What
Guild
the
Wars 2. But then how would that help? We know the Merset are kind of bad.
Dragon
Why would
Hunter
we?
Bow 5 strips all stability. You want to buff that Ebola skill? Are you kidding me? No. Dragon
Half
Hunter
the time-
Longbow 5 is cancer. Removed.
Half the time I see Longbow 5 in PvP, the gate doesn't show up for me graphically, so
Mm.
I'm just
You just
falling
run into
down
it?
in invisible walls. It's yeah, not a fun build, not a fun skill.
Mm.
I,
It is
I
a-
have. Oh,
Oh,
I was
sorry.
just gonna say I have possibly a different topic that
Okay.
kind of relates what we talked about a little bit. So I have a friend that I met at Yu-Gi-Oh, and it was interesting how we met because he recognized me from YouTube, and then we kind of became friends after that. Anyways, like I was talking to him at Yu-Gi-Oh the other day, and like he was like, "Yeah, I got the expansion, but like I don't know what to do with it. Like I feel like I can't play it, and my fiance feels like she can't play it because it seems like you have to dedicate a lot of time to it to be able to do anything." And I was like, "Yeah, you kind of have to like go really hardcore to get masteries to be able to do anything, and you kind of have to
I
grind
mean,
hero points
not really to do anything.
to
I've
do."
I
You
had
can, you
9
can,
mastery points and I
yeah,
could do
you can do
almost
stuff
everything
with
in the game.
like gliding and updraft gliding and like the bouncy mushrooms and stuff, but
Hmm.
like there's stuff you can't do, or there's stuff that you need like a mesmer portal friend to do. And another thing is that he doesn't really like play with a guild of people or anything. It's more or less he just kind of like goes into the world and like explores on his own and stuff. And that's what his fiance does. And I feel like he's probably not alone in that regard. There are
No,
probably
there's tons.
quite a few people that do that.
Yeah.
And it's pretty rough just doing that on your own. And at least I think it probably would be. And like, he's not a fantastically good player or anything. He's probably like pretty average. And I'm aware of what average is in Guild Wars 2. But like the expansion is just something like he loved the core game a lot, and he just like doesn't play it at all anymore
Because
because of the
it's
expansion.
it's difficult.
Like he like works a really intense job, and so does his fiance, and they like don't have time to play that much, and so they just don't play it. It's not Nike, no.
Yeah, I guess that's true. The expansion kind of is for the expansion is for veterans.
Like I literally I finished all of the content in less than a week.
Mhm.
Like I had my masteries were maxed out because I
Yeah, but
had
you're insane.
yeah. But like the expansion almost seems like it's more designed for someone like that than it is for just your like casual audience, which that's kind of what people wanted. People wanted something like hardcore with like in-game progression and stuff. But I think again, I think it was a perfect example of how people wanted something and when they got it, they realized that they didn't really want it. Like WildStar 40-man raids. I'll bring up this example until the end of time. People wanted a hardcore raiding MMO, just like 2004 and 2005. And when it came to be, people realized, oh, I have a job now, or oh, this is hard. Agreeing with 40 people, yeah, I wanted this, but I actually don't really want it. Or it's like an education. Like, people want to go to college and become an engineer and like make lots of money, and then they realize they go to college and that takes like advanced math and like lots of studying, and they think, yeah, I don't actually want this, and so whatever.
Do you know?
Like,
do we want?
Boots went to college and became an engineer. I went to college and wanted to be an engineer, and I realized I'm really lazy and I hate education, so I didn't go to college anymore. And there was other stuff that contributed to that, probably more so than that did, but, you know, I don't know.
Maybe that's why I like the expansion, because I became an engineer.
Ooh.
Yeah, maybe.
We need to get a survey.
correlation.
How many HOT players who enjoy it are engineers?
Yeah.
All right. Here's something though. Do we want Rim's perspective?
Are we going to bring him
PvP?
on?
We could add him to the call. If you think that's a good idea, what emote should they spam in chat? Keepo. Put Keepo in the chat if you want to hear Rim. There's probably going to be just mass Keepos. I don't know why I'm even asking. That would be pretty good. Let's find out. What's the delay like? Oh, that's only a kappa though. The delay is 15 seconds. What the fuck? On my end, anyway. Feels bad, man. To have such bad internet.
World versus World is a topic that I don't think we've touched on at all yet, and it's a massive problem.
Do any of us care?
I actually do care.
Ooh.
And I care about it for one reason.
Okay.
Because graphic design and graphics and doing that stuff correctly is something that I care a ton about. And when I actually, like, I didn't even know this was a thing until one day I, like, looked at World versus World in game and looked at the map. And it's literally like 3 squares slapped on top of the old map, and that pissed me off. So
yeah.
I would have fixed that for free.
That
If
is pretty
ArenaNet
funny,
said,
actually.
Brazil, could you help us with that? I would have made them a map and just given it to them and said, don't credit me anything. Here, just make the game better.
That is, I didn't actually notice that because I don't think I'd ever. I have barely been to World versus World actually, maybe once or twice because I just don't care. And it's kind of. The new map is kind of it's so big and I can't really do anything and this Dan's game. Okay, right, that's enough Keepos. I'll try and I'll add him to the call. Actually, I'll go to another screen to do this. There we go. Enjoy the alien and there's some other random text there.
We could. Oh yeah.
But this will mean I won't show everyone's names on my Skype contact list, so it's slightly better. Okay, here he comes.
Wow, what a name that is.
Yeah.
What an avatar that is.
Yeah.
I'll probably have to re-add him back because I started the call.
Oh, God
That
damn it.
avatar.
Now it's going to be a matter of how the fuck do I do this?
Oh wait, what? No, add him back. Bring him back here. Come back here. Come back to us, Rim.
Oh, it's
There he is. Oh.
Do you actually achieve your goal to become a Guild Wars 2 Santa? No, because I don't care about giving stuff to people. Actually, I do.
Oh,
I do
look,
that a lot.
he's here, I think.
Hello.
Hi,
Oh,
you're
look.
quiet. but
Yeah, you are
hi.
pretty quiet.
Am I?
Yeah.
Now?
Now you're alright.
You're good.
Yeah, I was just speaking quite silently. Alright, so the thing with... let me just check it. No. So the thing with PvP leagues, I know the boots have PvP'd something. I know that MightyTeapots have PvP'd, but the thing with why the PvP, in my opinion, for example, is not really that amazing to watch, is that generally, if you look, for example, on a Reaper, all of this as basically very obvious animations. It is, if you ever watched like Reaper using Greatsword, for example, Noskak or anyone else playing with such build, It's pretty fun to watch because you actually see what the fuck is he doing. Like if he lands a hit, he lands 8k and someone dies. But the thing with it is that what Teapot said about that going for burst is not really an option. It's not an option, and you need condition damage because the uptime on all the evasion blocks, blinds, and everything basically what the expansion brought is just too high for power damage. You cannot stun block someone and like let's say land a Gravedigger on him because he has stability, because he blinds, because he does some other shit, and it's no longer viable. The reason why condition damage is basically the only option is one, it kills the bunkers and nothing else can kill the bunker. And the second thing why condition damage is, or like celestial builds are superior, is that the sigils are imbalanced. Yeah, like if you look at the sigils people use, for example, are mostly the weapon swap sigils. And the reason for that is that with expansion, many professions got a tool to trigger their sigils twice, basically, because they can trigger, for example, Reaper. If, let's say, you are in a first weapon set and you have 2 on-swap sigils, if you go to Reaper's form, it will trigger the sigils on your current weapon, and if you change the weapon set after the second one, it will trigger the sigils on that weapon too. So essentially, you can, like in 1 second, you can trigger 4 sigils, and these sigils are pretty damn powerful. For example, Hydromancy, Geomancy, Doom, Energy, Leeching, all of these like deal from 1k to 3k damage. They can also apply a lot of conditions. That's why you see, for example, there was a build on NA, Celestial Revenant, I believe. The shitty one, but the thing with it was that basically it was a power build, but the source of its condition damage was just the sigils. And that's it. He had the might and he had the sigils. And that was perfectly enough to make it like worth doing something, like worth playing. Because he had those sigils, and that's the thing with Revenant, for example. If you swap the legends and the sigils, you can do it in like 1 second, and it's like instant 5k damage plus some effects. Like this is imbalanced. Like,
Yeah.
and they further nerf.
So that's probably
the-
something they're gonna have to change about Revenants, right? Like, they're gonna have to fix
not
that,
not
basically.
only about revenants. They'll, if I would say that the main thing they have to focus on is that they have to slow the game down. They have to kind of slow the game down because if you see, for example, on the Reaper, why the Reaper is not playing with curses, because Spite gives you, for example, a lot of coverage with other conditions, and that's like a snowball effect. Because there are more conditions, there are more condition cleanses. Because there are more boons, there should in theory be more boon strips. And that's basically like a failed design, in my opinion. They should just slow the game down. For example, I think one of the best examples would be, for example, Necromancer on second skill and Scepter, Grasping Dead. If you land that, you should actually get some damage from it. It's like right now, landing the Grasping Dead is basically nothing in itself because you have to cover it with other conditions and just spam more and more on top of it, so it actually does some damage. And yeah, that's why in past people were not even caring about condition durations because they were so easily cleansed if you didn't have other conditions to cover your like main source of damage. And yeah, the game just needs to slow down. If the game slows down, then you will probably see more power damage builds, like Dragon Hunter. Like for in my opinion, the Dragon Hunter has some couple silly mechanics, but it's quite enjoyable to watch. Like if you look at Dragon Hunter's perspective, or you just like see it from afar, you can kind of see what he's doing, like what he's doing with longbow. For example, the true shot, even if it does a lot of damage, it's still quite good design because you can actually see it requires some setup, some skill even. Same about Reaper Greatsword, slow weapons with high reward, but it's not used because it's not fast, it's not spammy, it cannot instant damage or instant CC. And as I said, with these time frames, you have as a power build to deal damage, which is basically like for a bunker mesmer before he gets other like defensives of the cooldown. It's maybe 4-5 seconds you have to breathe. It's like 4 seconds you have to kill him or bring him down very low in order to do anything. Because if you don't, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. And the one thing I would like to discuss, I don't know if your guys interested or not, but how do you think the divisions, the whole leagues were designed? Because for me, it kind of feels like they have designed the whole division system not to be competitive, but to give people something to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
They should have done the exact. I think they should have done the exact same thing that Hearthstone does. You play with the pip system up until you get legend. Legend, you're then playing on MMR, and just and then make the grind easier to get to legend.
Yeah, but there's one interesting thing. Do we really want this? Because if you see, for example, the Twitch, Guild Wars 2 is not big on Twitch. But since the...
Nemesis confirmed. Nemesis
he was right. Nemesis was right.
But since the divisions hit, if you look at PvP streams, for example, and even if you're shit at PvP and you just put PvP or your shit rank in the title, people just watch it. Like I've been watching the PvP streams for quite some time, and if you, for example, look at HoT stream, like 3 months ago, 300 viewers was a success. When the leaks hit, he passed 1,000 viewers at the same time.
I guess because it's like it makes it seem as though it means something rather than it's just random PvP that doesn't really mean anything.
It makes it seem like...
Yeah, I know, exactly.
And there's also
Masteries
That's
makes
why I
it
use that
seem like there were a lot of content.
That's why I use that word.
And he has there's Pro League as well, so there's kind of, Pro League, money, tournaments, winning. And I think Hellseth is a bit of an exception. I mean, he's got a big character. He's an entertaining guy, so he's kind of the ideal PvP streamer.
Yeah,
almost.
But the thing is, like couple tea times ago, there was a guy I typed that simply put orange logos.
This guy, I love this guy.
And suddenly he was having like fucking 200 more views.
It was high effort though. He even had a fake guild. He had a fake.
It was high effort,
ONG
but it
guild.
shows that people are, because of the leaks, because there is anything about PvP going on. I think it's kind of like, I would say, in-game marketing success. Even if the divisions for like PvP players is quite shit, because up until Ruby you can basically progress having 50% win rate, and you don't have to be any good because the tiers are saved. And what many PvP players have been saying is that if they are striving for competitive system, the divisions you are in, you should be able to lose them.
No, they will. No, I actually disagree. Not for Guild Wars 2. I actually really disagree with that. I don't think you should be able to lose them because this is, like it or not, this is a Care Bear game. Okay.
Yeah.
People don't like it. They tried to make it work in StarCraft. You used to be, and that is, I think we can agree that's kind of a bit more hardcore. in the competitive sense, and people didn't like it. Even then, they were scared to play on ladder because they'd, I'm gonna get demoted. No, and that's kind of a real fear. It's kind of, no, I worked hard to get my shiny badge, and now it's gonna be taken away from me if I kind of don't practice enough. And that's I don't really like that. People prefer to have, even if they lose a lot and they're actually not as good, they want that, oh yeah, I made it to Ruby, yeah. And then, if they go out of practice, they'll never play again, because otherwise, if they won't stop playing again, because they'll just lose and then lose their division, and that's
I
feels
kind
bad.
of feel
Man.
like the whole division system was thought out as some kind of a tool for ArenaNet to give some kind of purpose, some kind
Yeah,
of
that's
progression to
100%.
PvP players.
I
That's
think
100% it.
I think like
It
a
was
lot
not.
of
It was not
things.
that they wanted to like separate players, like
No,
good players from
no, no,
bad
no.
players. You can basically separate, maybe, like generally speaking, if you play a lot of PvP, you will eventually like be a Ruby or Diamond or Legendary. And if you don't play a lot of PvP, you will be that Amber, Sapphire, Emerald or something. That's like general split. But apart from that, it's just a sense of progression.
Exactly. It's what's replaced the 80 levels of rank that you used to have,
Yeah.
that everybody's already completed in the first year of the game. Whoever plays PvP, that is. So it replaces that and makes people interested in it again, because that's gone now, and it's repeatable, right? It's seasons, so it's
Yeah.
every time it's going to be repeatable. It's not meaningful, but it's meaningful in that it gets people to play PvP some more, which is good, frankly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very good actually.
Yeah.
As I've said, much more people is interested in PvP in general because of that. They like I've seen people like who only PvE, going to PvP streams and just watching a bit of it, just to see what's going on. It was with the division or such. And there is one thing I would like to ask you guys. For example, Guild Wars 2 divisions didn't have that on launch. But for example, I believe Hearthstone does. And what I'm thinking about is that once the league starts, Guild Wars 2 kept the MMR. And that's one of the complaints couple people had, that they essentially, I like mostly the better players, that they progress through the like starting leagues, PvPing against other top ESL players instead of everyone, and that's why they were progressing at such a slow rate, and that's why there were like stack in Emerald or something, and they were not progressing further and separating themselves from the lower ranked players, because they still had that high MMR and they were just playing with that 20-minute, 30-minute queues, just with like
Yeah.
RNG players with Vermilion or something. So
So-
should the MMR be reset essentially, or should we keep the MMR at start?
I mean, that's a good question. That's probably the biggest discussion about the PvP leagues that you could have, is the MMR situation and the PIP situation, and how the matchmaking is still made. Should they have done extensive testing? Should they have done any kind of testing beforehand, before making this process in putting into place? It seems like they needed to do PvP leagues when it happened, because they went on vacation for 2 weeks or so for winter vacation,
Yeah.
and besides Winter's Day, there needed to be something else that people could do in that time when there's no new content coming out. So PvP leagues had to come out at that time, but could they have, I don't know, done a balance patch beforehand? Could they have? I don't know if you have time to do it, but there's so many other things going
Yeah.
on. They
Mm.
probably
I think
should
that-
have done a balance patch
We
beforehand. and-
probably know that the balance patch is coming at the end of January, because the whole season first ends on 26th, I believe. So they said that they will release a patch in January.
You know what I think?
Yeah.
I think that they didn't need to do a balance patch before leagues, because leagues would serve as a way of testing what the meta is and know what to
Yeah.
do for balance. But they needed to not have pro leagues before they did a balance patch.
Exactly. You bring out quite fair point, but the thing with whole pro leagues and the balance is that somewhere along the road they said that the pro leagues, like I believe the Collins said that the pro leagues do not affect their balance changes, and that's quite silly because all the top ESL teams won't give you their best builds. They won't review the best builds like Condition Revenant or Bunker Mesmer. They all appeared during the pro leagues, and that's after people, just because these builds were like before available, and some players were playing them. Like for example, I was playing Malik's Revenant before the pro leagues, but nobody played them because everyone plays what the ESL players play, essentially, if that makes sense. So the Pro League balance is linked with the division balance. And I think that, like, not maybe weekly, but bi-weekly hot fixes, maybe, could be appreciated.
It's not gonna happen.
Yeah, that's kind of wishful thinking.
Yeah, 2 weeks. No. I don't think so.
Maybe like monthly.
I mean, even monthly is I think it's ambitious because even small changes can have really far-reaching implications. I think
Monthly is crazy. I think it would be quarterly for sure.
quarterly. I think now we've got some possibility there, but I mean, how much testing do they do? I mean, they should honestly be. Well, haha, I will tell ArenaNet what to do. They need to
how
be
much
testing this.
Do they do with Druid?
Yeah.
And it's plenty of bugs, like 7 blasts from one skill. Who thought that? It would be linked with fucking jumping.
But do you think they should have some kind of test PvP server so you can queue up in a separate queue and just test out the balance changes they're trying?
I think they should have public testing server like World of Warcraft.
Exactly, because that means they can try
Like,
these things and go faster and
I've been
update
saying
it.
that since the release. Like you don't have to put maybe raids or story content in it, but balance changes. Like that's like obvious. If you put so much new stuff, or you want to implement so much new stuff, you have to test it with a lot of people, not like 20 people, like a lot.
Yeah.
Excuse me for a minute.
Oh shit.
Hello, Boots.
Yeah, hi
Boots?
Brazil.
Hey, what's
Yeah.
up, man?
Nothing much. I'm just doing this crappy show.
Yeah,
Yeah, how about you?
I'm all right. You know, the expansion's really good, and you're right about everything.
I know, but I know you can't say that on the video.
Cap.
It's alright.
Good thing we're not streaming right now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wait,
All right,
wait,
man.
what?
Well, I'm gonna let you go. I got some, Dark Magician Girl hentai to look at.
Yeah,
So-
and I've got to go be a Care Bear.
All right, bye.
Okay, see you later.
I think the league system is actually... I think it is the perfect system for the type of game that Guild Wars 2 is, but the execution just made it fall flat on its ass. Flat on its face and then on its ass. Just for the double. It bounced back and hit itself again.
Wow.
Yeah, it was just... It is the best system here, because all you have to do... It's incredibly easy to see yourself progressing. If you've got MMR and you've got, say, strict leagues where you go, okay, right, say if you've got 1,000 MMR, you get to Emerald. If you've got 2,000, you get to Sapphire and so on. You can't see yourself progressing. But if you've got pips, bam! Suddenly, it's easy to see how well you're doing. And you have a measurable, well, quantifiable progression going all the way up to where you get Legend. Even in Legend, you're still just going around in circles. It's the same thing, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But
Yes,
the
that
thing
was
is,
fun.
the thing is, The problem was the execution, and then you have all these players abusing the system. Where you have these four exploiters, and then one guy from Amber, and they're just kind of crushing scrubs and farming their way up there.
there were like queues I've been having like week ago or something. There was, for example, a party of 3 thieves queuing up, and they were basically tanking MR, but how do you know that? These are
Because it's just these.
like
Yeah, just
kind
switch
of
to your warrior whenever you need to tank MMR.
yeah. I've seen people tank MR with warrior too. Like
Yeah, you're
people
still
were just
trying as hard as you can.
warrior, were just like reloading to warrior to tank the MR, but they were actually playing, and because they were playing as a warrior, they were losing actually, like automatically because warrior sucks. So yeah,
Yeah.
like the whole exploiting thing is kind of laughable. Like
So what could they have done to avoid the exploiting? They could have. I mean, the
Test
biggest
it.
suggestion is.
Test
I mean,
it.
even testing it.
Here,
It's not. Gonna
this
change
is
that.
this is the problem. This is the problem with ArenaNet and basically everything they've ever done in Guild Wars 2. They try something new and revolutionary, and they fuck it up really hard. And instead of fixing it, they try something new and revolutionary all over again.
you reminded me of the Malik's displacement. They
Yeah,
marketed.
exactly. Yeah.
And now they forgot about it underwater, and the displacement is still in the game. If you go into underwater in Malik's Legend, it still has displacement on both the down skill and unyielding anguish.
That's really funny.
It's still there. Like it was a cool concept, but instead of like fixing it, they just plainly removed it.
Yeah, like every single dungeon map break exploit ever, even in raids, like exploiting past Sabbatha, you can still do that.
Yeah.
Like their fix has always been to put an invisible wall in the way, and people just find a way around it. And so now they've finally just like said dungeons are dead, don't do them. And, you know, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure if it's correct. Maybe it is correct that you add win streaks to the PvP leagues. So that means you don't have to have 50% win ratio, because that means it's better for people who like to just keep it up.
I love
Yeah.
win streaks. I absolutely love win streaks.
I think win
and
streaks
everything.
is good.
Yeah,
But what
I
if
think they should like a lot of people don't understand how the pip system work. Like it's so many people who don't understand it, and that's because they have never explained it. They've just said that if you win, you will get the pip. If you lose, you will lose a pip. But there are so many like variables. For example,
Yeah.
I have had people in my team that basically if we were just like against 5-man pre-mate, they were not doing anything like, or for example, full fire. If you get to like 200 points, it generally, if you get like more points, the more points you get, even if you lose, the less pips you lose, or even gain a pip, or don't lose a pip at all. And people just sit in the base, like AFKing. Their answer to being beaten is AFK, and then they complain that they lost 3 pips.
Yeah. Well, no,
Like, it's ridiculous.
I still find, I guess, the AFKing and then complaining about losing pips, whatever. But I find the weird little, it's not, I get, it's probably not inconsistencies because it's all an algorithm, but the weird things that seem like inconsistencies to me while playing, like you work really hard, you gain 3 pips, and then you lose a game like 462 to 500, and you were the highest ranked player with 240 or something, but then you lose 2 pips. It just gets really annoying when stuff like that happens.
Yeah,
'Cause-
I think that the main thing they have to kind of work with and focus on is the problem with disconnects, because the whole disconnect thing really fucks up the perception of, like for example, if someone disconnects like at the 3rd minute in the game, even if you were winning, and that is 4v5, like the game system won't like in the data, it won't be as like forfeit, like 4v5, but it will still be like 5v5 because the guy who disconnected, he disconnected after 3 minutes and not within first 2 minutes. There's a lot of things they have to like resolve, I think, and just clarify the whole system, like make a post or I don't know, like guide to divisions when you enter PvP, because then you have people who just don't understand it all.
What about Dishonor? What do you think about that?
Dishonor, I think
The
it's a
bug they
pretty
had
good
at the
system.
beginning was pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, I think the
Oh,
whole
boy.
thing is pretty damn good. I think the Dishonor system is really good. There are of course some bugs with it, but
Brazil's going
it's,
wild.
it's needed.
If
me,
one
it is
person
needed.
on your team gets disconnected, you get Dishonor?
Yeah, well, Rim
I'm
was saying that
classifying it.
he thinks
I'm
that disconnects
classifying it
are
as a
bad.
bug, and I put it in the same bucket as all the DC things I talk about. They have to sort all the things with disconnects or yeah, because that's the fucked up thing now right now. But in theory, like apart from the disconnects, Dishonored works for me, please.
And just to clarify, Dishonored was not a great game.
They're
Wrong.
all
It was
capping.
great. It
Wrong.
was super.
They're
Wrong.
all capping every time they
know.
say that.
Is
But
this
that's
stream
wrong?
is this stream about people blaming the system or being bad at PvP? Yes, that's exactly what's happening here. I think actually, well, I think a good number of us have actually said the system is good. It just didn't get executed correctly.
Yeah, it's good. It's just that they felt in couple important details, and people like magnified these details and they exploited them.
Exactly, and then they made it
That's
Now
worse.
you have this weird
Yep.
thing that everyone
It's not
seems
just a
to
bad thing.
everyone seems to blame the system, but the system at its core is pretty damn good.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
fact.
Yeah, and I think it's a good thing that they put it in the game because it gets people to play PvP. I was gonna say though that I think, well, why are they not putting back solo queue though? Is it because they're afraid that teams won't be made as often anymore? Like nobody would do teams and because the queues would be too high?
Yeah, they brought this point up in the past, I believe, when they were deleting the solo queue, that people were not grouping up. And basically, if it was kind of true, because back then the PvP community was smaller than it is now, despite everyone is saying it was smaller. And the thing was that everyone was basically solo queuing, and the team arena, which was basically empty. You had like two teams. It was like a stronghold now. Like, yeah, like two
We know
teams
about
queuing.
that.
Yeah, we know about that. Stronghold is like discussion for like whole day. Yeah, like we could actually discuss Stronghold.
Yeah, we could.
Yeah,
I
thing.
have it checked off on my on my queue
Checked
selection.
off or checked on?
Like not I do not play Stronghold.
Why not?
I love Stronghold.
I do too.
I don't play it.
Ooh,
I don't know.
that's interesting. Why don't you like it?
Because it's just too easy for people to run away with a game when something goes wrong or something goes like it's not fought in the same way as right now, at least as far as I've seen, it's not fought in the same way as a conquest game. Because in a conquest game, it's very clear these are the things you do. You could come back from deficits, but in a stronghold game, there's one team that's clearly the favorite every time, and it's pretty much over 5 minutes, not 5 minutes, like 3 minutes after it starts.
I think there are some positives about Stronghold. Like in the positives, I will definitely put that Stronghold in general is more enjoyable to watch than Conquest.
Yeah, no, I
If-
agree with that for sure.
If you have watched like Stronghold tournaments, if someone who is not into the game watches Guild Wars 2 Conquest, he basically sees like couple guys on one point or the second point, and they're just standing there and beating each other. And he's just bored because he doesn't know the skills. He doesn't know all the interactions. Maybe the whole action is very cool. And in general, Guild Wars 2 PvP is very cool to play in theory, but it's bad to watch. And Stronghold is like opposite. It's very easy to understand the basic of Stronghold because it's essentially like MOBA. But the bad thing about Stronghold is that if you have followed Stronghold, you will know that they have basically abandoned balancing or making any changes to this game mode after like first or second open beta. They haven't like made some changes to minions or whatever. Their betas, their like Stronghold betas were just to, I don't know, gather feedback or something. Like there was so much stuff they could have done with these betas, like change the format to 8v8 for one beta and see how it goes on, see how it plays.
I don't think that's what beta testing is about. Beta testing is whenever content is basically finished and you're just ironing out bugs. You have a larger audience to help find bugs more easily, or do some like super tight fine tuning.
Yeah, because the play testing happens beforehand.
Alpha testing is
Yeah.
where you like are
Kinda.
changing things. So I don't know.
The World of Warcraft, for example, releases public betas. Maybe not fully public, but it's like public to many people. They invite quite some people to, for example, Legion Alpha, and they're not afraid to scrap things, from what I've seen. The thing with HoT Stronghold is that, for example, there is, as a boot set, there is little combat mechanic. They try to fix it with like if you kill an enemy in your base, you get like supplies, yeah. But the thing with it is the spawning point for mobs, if you're not like super mobile profession, is so far away that before you spawn, before you collect the supply, like maybe not kill the player, get the supply, deliver the supply, and come back, the players have respawned again and they are in your base. So once the inner gate is down,
It's
it's
over.
basically snowballing.
Yeah, it's over.
Like whoever gets the inner gate first
Wins.
basically snowballs.
But Giant Dad Legend defended their lord against 3 people for 5 minutes while they were losing, and they won in the end.
Yeah, it's always going to happen sometimes, but
Yeah.
that should never happen. Actually, there should
I
be no
think
version of
the problem
reality
is
where that happens.
that there is not really, like, I think they should have fixed the respawn times. For example, if you die in enemy lord's room, if you wipe in it, you should get like plus, I know, 15 seconds to your respawn timer.
Yeah, it's a very
So
good
the other
idea.
team has actually some rewards from killing you. They don't
What
have to
about-
cam the fucking lord all the time.
What about the ability of maybe repairing gates a little bit?
Yeah, there was idea of even like defense, like once the like new system of the mist champions, that the heroes you channel and they then IT was released. A couple people suggest that there should be like defense heroes, for example, one repairing the gates or something like that, and that's quite an option, I think. But it could slow the game down, and they say they set the timer to 15 minutes, and I'm not sure if 15 minutes would be enough.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that increasing the respawn time would do so much good, especially if you just lose a big fight. If you overcommit, you should get punished. I think there's just...
Yeah,
And
it's
right now,
basically like-
there is no punishment for overcommitting, really. Pretty much. Almost none.
Yeah.
especially if you've got at least one gate. So okay, so if you have even gates, you do get punished for overcommitting. But if one team has a gate advantage, another gate down, there's absolutely no punishment for overcommitting at all, and that's a big problem.
Like I'm a noob in MOBAs. I have only played like Heroes of the Storm, and the thing about it I liked, and that's why I just insist on that the respawn timer is. For example, if you die, even if you, let's say we're snowballing whole the game, and you wipe at the Lord's at the core, at the enemy's core, you get like 1 minute respawn, and at that 1 minute, once like the game is further down the road, in that 1 minute it can essentially fully turn on you. The whole enemy team can just win the game in 1 minute after you fully wipe. And that's just what Teapot was speaking about, the overcommitment. Like, it's not punished right now. You can just come back, push. And with some specs, they're quite tanky. You can't quite kill them. I believe, like, if people were, like, into like, stronghold theory crafting, like, more scrappers would appear, because scrappers are pain in the ass to actually kill.
Yep.
They can deal damage. They can run the fuck around, they can stealth, and they can still do like sustained damage. And yeah, druids, like, what the fuck? You can't like 1v1 it with most builds.
Yeah.
Like, you can with Reaper and Revenant.
I wonder what would
That's
happen
it.
if they did a few things. Increase the speed of door breakers and archers, like to run down the map faster.
Why don't
Reduce
they
their
just
health a bit.
make them
If they
faster?
made door breakers faster, it'd actually make them worse. It would actually make them kind of worse. No.
Make the door breakers better if you're at a disadvantage.
Make the
That's an
NPCs
idea.
better even. All of
So
them.
like
That's an
instead of
idea.
like little frail scrit running around, they're like huge, jacked, muscly
Jacked.
scrits with 2 bombs.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Double
an
Allahu
interesting
Akbar.
idea.
I know. I should be a game designer. What do you know?
should. Man, but you didn't come up with display cases for collections, man.
That's
That was
true.
me.
Because I would
Yeah,
have
you
just
did
not
come up
had
with that.
collections in the first place since they're bad.
Like,
But-
I have one topic I would like to ask you guys about. Like, about the whole profession balance. Like, for example, if you look at Necromancer or Conditioned Revenant, these were basically made for PvP and just it. Because, like, Boon Corruption is not really a case in PvE. Like, Torment and Confusion are shit in PvE, but shit in PvE, but very good at PvP.
Yeah.
Should they make like further maybe encounters, kind of like Guild Wars 1 mobs? Like
that's
they
literally
when they
what they
actu-
did with raids.
Yeah, like
Raids,
like
they don't
when-
have any boons in raids besides
Yes.
that one guy that you have to boon strip.
No, Gorse of all minions and all of the
Yeah,
ghosts
they have to be
get boons.
stripped. Well, they have a. It's not a boon. It's a unique thingy, isn't
It's
it?
a
It
unique
can be
thing
stripped. Yeah.
that has to be
Yeah,
taken
but
off.
what I'm talking about
weird.
is essentially that if you ever played Guild Wars 1, I'm not an expert at it, but a lot of these mobs had basically some kind of like even in PvP like builds. They were essentially like AI controlled players, at least from what I remember. And I think that such like professions, maybe interrupting would be more of a case. Maybe that boon strip would be more interesting.
in
Like
PvP,
essentially
though.
give them tools of players themselves.
The thing is, though, then they actually have to make the AI smarter. The AI in Guild Wars 1 was capable of doing good things. It was very
was
capable. In fact, heroes in PvE. This is a PvE example. You could do the hardest PvE content in the game with heroes, and it's not that hard.
Yeah, it's true.
They were capable on their own to be actually pretty damn decent at playing Guild Wars 2, and it's just a bot. There is hope for you viewers yet. Even though you're Mr. Destructoid, you can still be good. But if you gave them the exact same thing, even if Guild Wars 2 had the same skill system, bam, secondary professions, we're back, 8 skills. The AI would in Guild Wars 2 is not capable of doing that.
It's terrible.
Right now, it's not capable of doing that. It doesn't know to interrupt or dodge or use defensive skills or anything. It can't do it in its current state. But maybe because because of PvP having smaller numbers of things going on, it's not open world, so nothing's going crazy. Maybe they could execute that in a PvP setting, and I think you're absolutely right.
Or
Grim.
especially a raid setting.
Yeah, exactly, and especially in a raid setting. But I mean, even in raids, the kind of you're dealing with a boss. The boss is special. I mean, the trash is kind of the trash. It's irrelevant, really, almost.
Yeah, imagine like in PvE raids, you encounter a bunker chronomancer, and then you have to bring conditioned revenant just to deal with that fucking chronomancer.
Fucking chronomancers.
Fucking chronos. Okay, we've got some stronghold problems from Kikaru. Archer's useless. Mobs don't constant respawn. No kill snowball mechanics. No gates invulnerable mechanics. Supply mech sucks. All conditions can solo lord. Random champ spawn swap in location. Seriously, 8 general game balance. Well, I mean, I think those are pretty fair points.
Yeah. The thing I think that the quite interesting thing is that supply mechanic sucks. It was, I think ArenaNet overestimated its like fun value, that you would be like dedicated supply runner or something. It's not really the case, I think. Like the whole supply system, like further the game, it's less and less important. People just seem to focus on the heroes, and that's it. Because the mobs after the gates are down, the archers are useless, and the whole supply mechanics becomes like, yeah, whatever.
Maybe archers just need to be a lot better.
Maybe.
Like maybe if they
should they be
two-shot killed
focused
people.
on? But should they be focused? Exactly.
What
Should they
if
be focused on?
what if you just made the archers like defend your gate? Like you could only make them if one of your gates was down, and then they would go to like defend the gate against AI instead of just like running down the lane.
I had an idea that once basically both gates, both enemy gates are down, the
enemy gate is
bombers,
down,
door
guys.
breakers are essentially useless from this point. Like, if you were ever make a mob at that point, it would be the archer, yeah? So, for example, if the door breakers is not longer needed, it's basically switched to another type of mob, which may be defense or something.
Yeah. Well, I think archers. I
Or
don't
just
think they
expand to
should.
the third mob, yeah.
I don't think archers should be that much better at doing damage to the gate, but it would be interesting if the archers were a lot better. But then why would you even need them? Maybe put one archer with a bunch of door breakers so that it could defend them itself by killing off the players trying to attack them. I don't know.
I think I think the thing with archers shouldn't be like two players. They should never really like two-shot players, because the whole PvP community will just rise and never play it again.
Well, maybe
But the
they
thing
buff
with it, but the thing with archers, what they could do is, for example, they could strip boons, or they could like CC, not exactly like kill by themselves, but help in killing. It would be interesting. Like if their shots were like unblockable, or they could like interrupt fucking Will of Precognition. I would take an archer who could like punish the bunker chronomancer defending the lord. That would be useful actually. But if he is just like to two-shot something, you just spawn a bunch of these, and then there is a thief coming out of stealth, and they just fucking 5 hours at the thief, and thief is dead. Like, what? and no
Another
one
nail in the
was
coffin.
involved. It's just PvE, whole PvE. But if you make archers annoying in that sense that they help you score kills, instead of killing by themselves, Like they give you like huge adventure or something. Like
Maybe,
the
maybe.
world.
But no, the other idea is what Brazil said, and also I am Laserdog, Hog, and make them defend instead of going in your lane to go up to the gate to do piddly damage to the gate, or defend the door breakers, which they don't really do. Have them go down the other lane to wipe out door breakers, and then maybe camp the door breakers home and kill them there.
That's pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
I like that. That's nice.
Yeah, I think they just should. I think they just should do something about the stronghold because they seem to have left it in the dust. Like you see the stronghold community, they tried to make like a stronghold tournament at release, and that was basically snooze fest because both teams rolled incredibly tanky parties,
of course.
and it was just boring as fuck.
Yeah, because they don't have to
But
fight each other. They just have to
Yeah,
get
but
shit done.
they have to put some fucking development in this mode
Yeah.
Yeah.
because
Well,
if
there's
they
things.
if they leave it as it is, it will basically end up as a skyhammer, as a courtyard when they tried to do something, but it kind of didn't hit, and they
Yeah.
just abandoned it. Like
Well, I think that
it's
I honestly don't think they tried to do something with that. I think they put that map in the game to shut the people up who are all asking for what's it called, deathmatch,
yeah,
and
it's
say,
like
here, you could
courtyard,
have this if you really
courtyard.
want deathmatch, but I'm telling you, it's not going to work, and
Yeah,
it didn't work.
it's in courtyard, but Spirit Watch or Skyhammer, both of these projects were basically abandoned. And main thing with ArenaNet, I think, what I have against ArenaNet is they constantly come up with new things and then they just abandon them.
Yeah.
And then they lay groundwork to the second project, and after that the second project fails, and we are just like making the fundamentals for the third project. That's why don't you just fucking fix the first one?
Well, they have a
And
list
then
now, right? They have a list. So they're which one's getting it fixed first? Though they're going to fix World versus World. That's in the next couple of months.
that's
They're gonna
how
fix
will
World
they
versus World.
fix it?
Okay. Yeah.
They're gonna fix PvP,
Well,
right?
yeah.
Oh no, sorry. Fix World versus World, then fix Fractals, I think, right? Or is it Fractals first?
They're not gonna do shit to either of those.
They're gonna fix World versus World, then they're gonna fix Fractals, then they're gonna
World
fix
versus World, then
PvP.
Fractals. Well, PvP, they're just gonna do a balance patch.
Yeah, we're just
They're not
gonna
gonna
fix
fix
it. They're
Oh
gonna
yeah,
fix
sorry,
it.
sorry, yeah, fix it. And then I think the game's perfect after that, right?
Yes, it's perfect in every way.
Yeah, it's super.
So it's really simple. It's just three things.
If they just
Yeah, but that's MMO.
if they just change Auric Basin into a meta event that's actually cool, then the game is perfect in every way.
Don't
I
even
would-
remind me of fucking Auric Basin
I'd
and
rather
its
them just-
requirements of the fucking. For all the crafting, they basically put all the crafting recipes that were good in Auric
Yeah, in
Basin.
Auric Basin, Vipers, Ellie Giggle.
Yeah.
What were you saying, Brazil?
I don't know.
He's got bored now.
Delete Auric Basin.
Delete
Oh,
on this.
Delete.
What's your favorite map, guys?
Tangled
Like
Depths.
out of
Tangled
4.
Depths, Jarrett. No, me. I don't know.
It's not
Mine
even.
is-
It's not even because of like the events or anything. I hate all of those except the chalk Jarrett. I think that's good. I just like how there are lots of different caves and places to explore and magical crystals and stuff.
I like Auric Basin.
I think-
I think their best map they created was Verdant Brink, like hands down. I just if I
Because
would
of the
have to choose-
canopy.
Not really. I think they just put
A lot of
much
effort
more
into it.
work into Verdant Brink than the 3 other maps. If you like look at their promises that you would have like 3 biomes in each map, it's basically only the case for Verdant Brink.
That's true. Because
Verdant
it's
Brink-
transitioning from the desert to the.
Yeah, Verdant Brink doesn't really suffer from this boring like meta event everyone has to taxi for. Basically, it has a lot of events in different parts of maps. The resource for the map, the how is it called? Airship parts is also quite good because you just go nearby, you do some events, you get some crowbars, and there is some airship parts. You can just like mine them. That's
It's
pretty
true.
cool.
I probably spend
It's
most
pretty
of my
cool.
time in HOT inverted brink. It's true. I like it there. The reason
Yeah.
I said I like Auric Basin is because not because I don't like the meta event at all. The map as a whole is, iffy, but I just really like the just my first experience with flying into the city of Tahrir and just soaring down there and seeing all the gold and everything.
I didn't like that.
You didn't like that at all?
You don't like anything Brazil, do you?
No, it was
How
literally
did you
like,
not like that?
because it was literally you have to do this and you have to be excited about it because we think this is cool.
You just want to
That
be
was
a hipster,
that was
do
that was
you?
what it is. No,
Oh, you're
that's
super
that's
hipster.
not being a hipster at all. That's not being a hipster whatsoever.
I
But
did
it
it
is-
without
it
the
is cool, though.
storyline. I just went in there exploring, and it was fantastic.
Yeah, like I agree that, for example, I really liked Tangle Depths the first time I went there. Because that was actually like the first map I got lost. And that was pretty cool for me. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just... Normally I'm PvP player and just don't care about this shit. But I kind of like that. Afterwards, it's not really that amazing, but... As for Tangle Depths, I just liked it as a first impression. And I don't go there anymore.
Yeah. So I mean that's something. There's something to like about every map, and there's
Yeah.
something to dislike about probably almost every map. But something in there for everyone.
There's just a problem that we have for maps.
Yeah.
Free
Oh, you're
maps,
saying it's too
if
little.
you don't count the Dragon's Stand.
You're saying there's too few
Because
maps
it's-
for HOT.
Yeah, I think the whole expansion just it's like for the 3 years they had till the first expansion. I thought that for all the 3 years they were just like thinking about the expansion and developing it like very slowly but steadily, and it seems like they started to like do something with this, like develop anything with this expansion like 6 months before it got released, or 9 months. It was just like they really had not a long time.
Yeah.
And we are 3 years after the game released for the first time, and they just come up with not too much, honestly. Like the content they have is alright for me, but yeah, it's just not impressive. for me
I'm
anymore.
calling it. They have held
Yeah.
back a lot of content. It's just it's on their version of the client. They're waiting to release it. The next Living Story I think is going to be epic as shit, yo.
I think it's gonna be bad.
Brazil, I love you, man. I love you so much.
This whole discussion is like Teapot. Yeah, guys. And Brazil,
No, I hope it's gonna be epic Teapot.
The
I really
only
do.
thing I ever expected them to do well was raids, and they executed that incredibly well.
Yes.
I'm
Like
happy.
raids
Yeah.
are as perfect.
Yeah, raids
they're
are
they're
really good.
better than I could have imagined them. They're
So far.
incredible.
So far.
Fractals, they made fractals worse than I thought they would.
Yeah, but
Like
they're gonna
they
fix
just they
Fractals,
just
Brazil.
they
They're
just
fixing
hit that out of the park. They went.
But they
You
went a
mean
bit
they
too far.
went-
They actually hit it out of the
Are
park.
you sure they didn't go poof?
Yeah.
Next Living World is going to have as much content as an expansion. But the thing is, that may be a funny comment, but I think you might be right. Seriously, Deathmore 80. Timey's going to be in it. That's a big downside. Ooh, what if Timey
think you meant
dies? They can't kill children, though, can
They
they?
can't kill children.
What if she,
Turns evil.
Yeah,
the next
no,
step.
because then we have to put
No,
her down.
what is Timey's just
No, you
off
just
doing
put her in
research.
Yeah,
Stay
just
with
go
forget
away,
about her.
just leave. Yeah.
Brazil's zipper wasn't down because Brazil's pants don't have a zipper on them.
Oh, there you go.
So nice
like-
try.
All right,
Like
Brazil, I don't
as for
believe
the
you. Show
Guild
us your
Wars
crotch.
2
Do you want to see it?
Oh my god. Oh boy, here we go.
Here,
honestly, for the Guild Wars 2
can I
story,
get up here? I think
You
my
can't.
Brazil here.
So there's
I'll
no way
even
you
make
could
it
have even
better.
seen
Here,
your zipper
I'll make
because
it
you're not.
better. There.
is it
there.
Yu-Gi-Oh
Banned from
already?
Twitch. Banned from Twitch. There we go. Yeah.
Yeah. As for the HOZ story, I kind of like after they released the HOT story, and I finished it, I kind of given up or Guild Wars 2 story development at all. It may be partly that at the same time I was playing the expansion to Witcher 3, which is absolutely superb. If you guys want a good story, play Hearts of Stone. It's just so
What?
What?
Hearts of
Hearts of
Stone
Stone.
Oh, okay. I thought you said Heroes
from
of the Storm there
Witcher
for a
3.
minute.
I thought you
boy.
said
Yeah, yeah.
Hearthstone.
No. There's no story there.
Yeah, if you want good story, play Hearthstone, like adventures.
So I have to go, Teapot, but I want to leave it with this: is that I think that HOT overall, it is what I thought it was going to be in that it's story wise, it's the amount of story we would have gotten if we just did Living Story. Content wise, it's more than we would have gotten if we just did Living Story because they were able to concentrate on it and work hard at it and package it nicely. But what it does do is it does make me a little bit more hopeful about stuff we're getting in the future because they made a base with HOT. They made a base of they added a lot of features in there and the elite skills, the elite spec, the spec structure and everything. They made a base that they could expand upon nicely now. And if you're right, that would be great, Teapot. That Living Story is going to be epic the next one because they saved a lot of content. That would be great. I'm hoping for that because honestly, if the next expansion, if there is a next expansion, is probably going to be much the same as this, probably. So in other words, I hope that the Living Story is as good as you think it's going to be, Teapot.
I would go a little bit further than that even. I would say that they have at least a good amount of the next raids already done, ready to go.
Oh yeah, of course.
And maybe more maps and meta events and stuff already ready to go. I would almost say that. I think they have more just ready to unleash. Because I expect them to expand into other maps with the Living Story, wouldn't you say?
For me, like the summary of it is that if you guys remember when World of Warcraft got its first expansion, the Burning Crusade, it wasn't fucking beautiful. It wasn't fucking beautiful. And I think that ArenaNet with Hearts of Stone, Heart of Thorns, has quite the same thing as Blizzard had with the Burning Crusade. It's basically their like first true expansion. I know that there were like Guild Wars 1 expansions, but they were not like mostly open world. And I think they did a good job with Heart of Thorns, and if there's more content coming down the line, because they didn't want people to just like burn through it like in the first month, they wanted to save more for the later. It's pretty good, and I just wish that they don't throw their new concepts like elite specializations. Like it won't be like 6 months later they will just abandon the idea and come to the next one. If they stick with it, what they have done now, if they really like had their like framework for the future, if they stick with it, I think it's pretty good. I think it's pretty nice.
I do have to go actually, Teapot, now. But if you guys want to keep discussing, I have something for you to discuss, which is this question. Core masteries give you some flavor, some extra little things you could play around with, give you that looting, auto loot thing. If you were to add new masteries into the game to do cool things like that, what would you add? Like, what new masteries would you add to the game?
To the core game. The core game?
To the core game to give people new abilities, new things like that. To
I
the core
don't-
game, or even HOT.
A dungeon mastery to get more rewards.
No, come on, Brazil.
Yes.
That's quite sensible, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
More tokens, better gold reward.
Or shortcuts. Shortcuts, even.
Yeah.
So are you saying that you would be happy with... There wouldn't be like a Reddit upheaval going, they removed all rewards just to give them back with masteries.
That's what they
content.
did with fractals.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, I know, but you're saying that you would want that for dungeons too.
I'd rather some reason to play them than no reason to play them.
Okay.
Well, what would you... Why didn't you...
The way
go
way
ahead,
they
Brazil.
got away with that with fractals is because they made them worse in other ways that was the least of people's problems. Call me wrong, but whatever.
Boots, if you want to answer that question and then tell us about yourself so we can wrap up, that will be...
Or just
Probably
go.
good.
Oh, I
just
don't
fuck
I
off
don't have a
already.
question. Yeah.
I know, I mean,
See you
the
later,
answer,
guys.
the
I
answer
have-
to the question,
I
though.
have an idea.
I don't
for
have an answer to the
mastery.
question.
Oh.
I have an idea for mastery. I think many people like.
Let Boots go first before we talk.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
It's
Yeah,
okay.
Right.
See you later. I hope I
See
don't
ya.
dox anyone.
Oh, you
See
will.
ya.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'm ready for it. I'm ready to crop things.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, it actually worked. Good enough.
Yeah, I have an idea for mastery. Amazing mastery.
It's not gonna work because this picture is gonna disappear, and then there's only gonna be two of us.
Yeah. Well, how
Guys,
about...
what
Go on.
if the next mastery was mounts?
No.
No. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Just no.
Now it's I think the whole mastery system in theory is good, but there is just not that much stuff I can come up with like right now without much thinking, because most of the stuff it would be like the masteries we've got, which is basically like more loot or more something, but not exactly something completely new. So it would be just masteries improving the existing content.
Yeah. I don't think they can... They can't
I
add
think
anything to the core game.
the whole mastery system needs to add new things, not improve the existing content like the gliding did.
I don't think they can add new core masteries, because... Say, I mean, I was thinking just then, oh, what if they added a gathering mastery? Then if they added a gathering mastery, it's just, you know, obviously... Now even gathering is pay to win. It's just kind of, yeah, that would be silly. Obviously, they're going to keep adding masteries with the raids. Maybe they'll make them more meaningful, seeing as they're completely meaningless, pretty much. Except for the ley line one, obviously. Ley
Yeah, they were
rift,
just
rather.
like, okay, now you unlock this.
Yeah, now you do that.
Guilds.
Okay. Maybe they can make something good.
But the interesting thing with raiding mastery is that now they require not that much experience, and that's cool. But further down the road, if they are just like other masteries, they will require more and more experience. So
Polymorph
let's say in tier 3, you have to grind like 4 million XP to get mastery for the next boss. Will it be the case?
No, please, no. Don't even suggest that. Someone might hear you.
Yeah.
Do you need the... Yeah, what does the raid mastery... If you don't have the raid mastery on Sabbatha, what happens to you?
You take damage from
How
the bomb when
how
you
much
throw it.
damage, though? I know you take damage, but does it just instantly fuck you or something?
No, it's probably like 20% of your health.
Oh. Okay. Well, maybe you do kind of need it then. Yeah, XP isn't that hard to get, I guess. But still, 4 million is a lot.
That's two
Yeah, it's
dragon
just-
stands. It's literally 2 dragon stands. It's 4 hours. Less than 4 hours.
Exactly, though. It's still quite a lot, isn't it? Yeah.
Mm,
How can you stay with a game where the pay to win is so obvious? That's literally every MMO and pretty much every game. The only it's not. I wouldn't even. I don't think Guild Wars 2 is pay to win unless you're trying to be competitive PVE and you
it's
bought.
not pay to win yet.
If you bought the core game, before HOT and now you don't have it, then there is an argument to say that you're going to struggle in competitive PvP.
Yep.
But if you are playing the free game and you're saying, Guild Wars 2, pay to win, then I don't think you've got anything because you haven't paid for anything. It's almost like a free trial. It's like saying, yeah, World of Warcraft is pay to win because I can't do shit on the trial. No, that's not. No. I don't think so.
World of Warcraft by this definition is essentially play to win.
Yeah.
Because
Hearthstone
you
is pay to
can't
win.
play without paying.
Hearthstone is absolutely pay to win.
Yeah.
It's pay to have fun. It's not pay to win. It's pay to have fun. Hearthstone is
well-
unplayable unless you have good cards, but that's another story.
Yeah. Kind of.
Um,
Kind of.
Okay.
There is a very good idea for a new mastery, a fishing mastery, mini pet battle arena mastery.
Polymock, yeah, that's
So,
basically
yeah,
it.
Polymock.
Yeah. Teapot trying to rationalize. No, it's not a rationalization, Rex, you Italian fuck. It's just. It's just a fact that they want you to buy the game, idiot. You know, and it's not. You can't say it's pay to win if you're not even paying for the base for the core game. You don't even. I mean, there are restrictions on it. It's literally a trial account. It's just take away free from Guild Wars 2 and just slap trial on it, and then suddenly all your complaints disappear. Yeah. Yeah, and the irony of this is that Rex actually got the game for didn't pay for the game.
Yeah, he got it.
Yeah, he got it from Tavish. Yeah. Okay, I think.
Did you?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Drim.
No, I was just finishing it up.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, I was just gonna finish up completely, so you might want to say your
Please,
thing.
let's do it. It's been over 3 hours.
Yeah, I'm just here for like 1 hour, so that's cool.
All right. Okay. So, yeah, that is gonna probably end things here. Rim, you are our special guest, but you also do well. I haven't seen you streaming for a while, but you do stream sometimes. So why don't you tell us about that?
Yeah, when I have time. So yeah, I stream Revenant and Necromancer PvP. So if you're interested in that, just go to my channel and donate
Boom.
and follow.
Do it. That's Rim69. Twitch.tv/Rim69, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
What about you, World of Enders?
Well, I started a YouTube channel with some friends, and then they bailed on me, and I never upload to it anymore.
Wow. Okay, how about you, Brazil?
Yeah, I'm Brazil. You can find me by literally going to Google and typing Brazil GW2. So if for some reason you like me more after the stream than you did before it started, you might want to subscribe to my channel or follow me on Twitter. But there's a very good chance you probably don't like me as much as you did when the stream started. So if that's the case, then just fuck off.
It's beautiful.
Like Brazil, when will you stream again?
I don't know, whenever I feel like it. I just stream whenever I feel like it.
There you go.
I have one question. Do you know when Nemesis will start streaming?
I don't.
Do you have? Fuck. Do you want to see them streaming?
If you want to catch Brazil streaming, you're probably better off looking at YouTube. I believe you prefer, or do you now prefer
I
Twitch?
just do Twitch now, because
Oh.
having 3 viewers on YouTube, there's just no point. So,
All
I
right.
will also incentivize you guys to subscribe to Dank Wars 2.
Yeah.
Official
It's a very-
subreddit.
Yep. It's very good subreddit. It has very, very fresh, nice memes on it. I would highly recommend it.
Yeah.
And well,
Yeah, and sign up for Mystic Builds.
yeah, sign up for Mystic Builds as well, so you can lose to Rim, so he can get his sweet, sweet gems.
Yeah. Last time I got 1,200 gems, so yeah.
That's pretty good
sneaking
value.
on.
You could, that could be you. Someone could dethrone you, Rim. It could happen, man.
You.
Yeah. You could be the one to overcome the mighty Rim, who's won 2 in a row. Who's going to deny it in the 3? It could be
Brazil
you.
needs his meds and to fuck off himself.
Oh.
Good one. Be original, and maybe I'll get a laugh out of that.
Hey. Well, that's not very nice, is it, Ozzy?
I don't care.
No Tanjiro.
It's not like I haven't heard that before. If someone can actually come up with some form of insult that I haven't been told before,
Do you get
then
money?
I'll humor you and I'll give it a giggle. But I mean, whatever.
Nemesis's stream is like he will start every stream with short introduction for half an hour, and then will be core
Yeah.
part of content math. Yeah,
No.
like guys, if you're into maths, like if you want to go to college and be a good engineer, watch Nemesis videos.
Yeah, it's
he has
gonna
good
help.
maths
He does.
for you.
He doesn't like fake math, so it's perfect.
Yeah.
Math in a void.
The math is fake. But anyway, after you've followed and subscribed to these 3 fine gentlemen, because Brazil is role-playing his boots right now, you should also follow this stream. You should follow the lead of Ikmon, who just followed right now. Your
Yeah,
name.
fucking follow because that's 3,000 followers we hear Modgermal speaking.
Yes, and everyone wants to hear that.
Better follow.
So you better follow the stream. Do it. Just do it. Don't let your follows be dreams. All right.
Yeah.
And you can,
Alright.
you can subscribe to me on YouTube as well. There's a link. Do it. I'm actually making videos right now. In fact, I'm going to do that as soon as we end the stream here. So it is actually not pointless. And of course, if you missed any tea time, you can watch it. You could even watch all the tea times, and there's a whole bunch of them on the channel. So you should totally watch those. There's a lot of other stuff as well. Okay. I mean, and follow on Twitter as well if you want to. You can be notified about things, and things are pretty good. Like when I stream, which is every day. You can also see the schedule. Yo, what?
Teapot, if you want to host someone, you have now 2 options. You either host Leto,
Why?
or maybe chat could decide, maybe like
Yeah.
make a Strobo or something.
Who should
You
we
could
host,
either
guys?
host Leto or host Rom for when he exploits the druid.
How about
then-
neither?
Yeah, but they already have viewers, right? You want to host someone who has no viewers. And you send in the plebs to
Right.
invade. They know what
Right,
to
that's-
spam now as well.
Dude, this guy has a webcam and 3 viewers, and he's
Which
playing a
guy?
thief, so he needs help.
Okay, what, oh, is it the Daredevil structured PvP? Yes, I'm a thief. Get him the
Yes.
crow. I like
Yep.
it. Here we go.
Do it.
Let's host this guy up.
Wow.
Oh, we got some original Josh Champion. What a follower. And Svarkanum. Okay, right. Now we're gonna end. We'll end. Goodbye. Goodbye. Yeah,
Okay.
kind of
See
do
ya.
a wave through the side and end up in the bottom. Yeah, yeah.
Merry Christmas.
Yes. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.